We welcome you to Detroit. They are ready for playoff baseball. American League Division coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. We welcome you to Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan, as we get ready for Game 4 of the ALDS between the Oakland A's and the Detroit Tigers, with the A's holding a 2-1 lead in the series. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Don Orsillo, along with Dennis Eckersley and Buck Martinez. David Aldridge will join us in a moment, as this series certainly ratcheted up a notch yesterday. Some dramatics in the ninth inning, and the Oakland A's have taken a lead in this series. On the Detroit Tigers side, right now, it's been a lack of offense for the Tigers.
Well, it's pretty simple about the Tigers. They're just not swinging the bats. And this is a club that's about slugging. It's about doubles. It's about home runs. And it just hasn't been there. The top five guys in the lineup have not come through. You've seen 3 extra base hits, no home runs. They need it. I tell you what, they've had a couple good pitching performances from their aces. Now they need an offensive performance between one of their hitters, because they may be going home if they don't get it.
And Buck, on the other side, certainly the Detroit Tigers have not been themselves, but the Oakland A's have. This is what they've done all year long.
Well, it sure is, Don. They really worked the pitcher as they did in Game 3 yesterday. The big thing about this team is they use everybody on the roster. Steven Vogt won the game with his 17th big league RBI in Game 2. And then they broke out the big bats in Game 3. 3 home runs. Reddick, Moss, and Seth Smith. This is what they do. They're very patient, they're selective, and they hit the ball out of the ballpark. This club has scored 8 runs a game in their last 5 games here, and tonight Dan Straley will make his postseason debut with a chance to advance the A's to the next round.
It's an elimination game from Motown, as Game 4 comes your way next on TBS.
Anybody here? Here it is.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
okay.
3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Here we are.
Well, we welcome you to a beautiful afternoon at Comerica Park in Detroit. It is 66 degrees. The breeze at 7 miles per hour. 43% on the humidity, and it is clear, and they're expecting more clear skies the rest of the day. In fact, not a cloud in the sky as the Tigers take the field. Before we get it started, let's send it down the field level and David Aldrich. David?
Well, Don, we see it all the time in the playoffs, most recently last night when the Dodgers gave the ball to Clayton Kershaw in short rest to try and close out that series. But Tigers manager Jim Leyland gave no thought to it. He is giving the ball as scheduled to 14-game winner Doug Fister in an attempt to keep this series going. Despite having Max Scherzer available on 3 days rest today, he gave no thought and no chance to alter his rotation.
Everybody comes up with all these different scenarios that maybe you could try this. Did you think of this? Did you think of that? And it's very interesting, but we are what we are. I mean, this is the way we play the game. This is who we are, and there's really no tricks.
Now Scherzer could potentially come out of the bullpen if Leyland needs him to pitch 1 inning, maybe 2, but Fister gets the start as the Tigers try to keep their season going. One other note, Torrey Hunter got an x-ray on his shoulder that he injured yesterday when he dove for Coco Crisp's fly ball in the first inning. The x-rays were negative. Hunter is in the lineup and batting second, Don.
All right, David, thanks very much. As you can imagine, this place is jacked and ready to go. As we take a look at the batting order for the visiting Oakland A's, it's brought to you by T-Mobile as Coco Crisp leads it off in center field. Josh Donaldson at third base with Jed Lowry at shortstop trying to get it going offensively. Brandon Moss at first. Yoenis Cespedes is in left with Seth Smith, the DH. Josh Reddick in right field with Stephen Vogt doing the catching, batting eighth. And Eric Sogard out of the number 9 spot is 0 for 8 in the series as he starts at second base. And on the mound for the Tigers today in this game 4 is Doug Fister.
Well, the heat is on Doug Fister. He's been there before. This is his 6th postseason start and had a nice year for the Tigers again this year. This is a control pitcher. A guy gets a lot of ground balls, not overpowering, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, a little cutter, sinker, changeup. He can pitch.
And a career high 33 appearances, 32 starts during the regular season, 14 wins. Also a career high. First pitch of game 4 is in there for strike 1, and we're underway. Well, 2 trips to the DL last year for Fister. He missed a month. Coco Crisp 3 for 9 so far in the division series. Sends one towards the gap in left center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Quickly by Peralta as it heads back to the track in the wall. Crisp is thinking 3 and is headed towards third base. The throw in that direction will be late. And Coco Crisp with a triple to start the ball game.
Coco Crisp is the igniter. There's no question about that. And this Oakland team has averaged 8 runs a game over the last 5 games they've played in this ballpark. And this is a spacious ballpark. That pitch was up out over the plate, and Coco Crisp drilled at Jhonny Peralta. Remember, he is in left, and he couldn't cut that ball off.
Well, it's going to be a long day, long evening for the Tigers if Fister throws balls like that. That ball's middle.
You see so many triples in this ballpark, and Peralta could not cut that off. Peralta in the lineup, of course, for his bat. Not so much the defensive ability in left, playing out of position as Josh Donaldson stands in here for the Athletics. 2 for 12 so far in the series. And a swing and a miss. That one by him.
Fister had problems the last time he faced the Oakland A's in the regular season back on August 28th. He was up in the zone and they pounded on him. 13 hits in 5 innings, including 5 straight hits against him. He was not down in the zone. He needs to get that sinker at the bottom of the strike zone to be effective.
They're trying to quiet these Oakland A's bats. They have 22 hits in the series, 10 extra base hits. And the A's with 4 home runs in the series. And keep in mind, the Tigers are a team known for their home runs, known for extra base hits. That's what they do, but they have only 3 extra base hits so far in the series, and they're just not hitting. It's outside for ball 3.
Well, he looked ugly early on, everything up, not pretty, and that's not by design. He's trying to get the ball down. Guy's 6'8". You got to work hard to get the ball down. I tell you, Oakland gets off to a good start here, gets a couple of runs. That's major pressure on an elimination game.
Tigers have only scored in 2 innings in this series.
To right field, Hunter coming in. He will make the catch as Chris Bluffs does not go. Hunter with a throw. It is knocked down by Avila. But back to the bag at third goes Chris. One down.
Another ball hit hard because it was up in the zone, and he's got to work hard to get down in the zone. You might expect that he would throw a curveball or two to get himself down in the zone a little more effectively.
Here's Jed Lowry looking for his first hit of the ALDS. 0 for 12 so far. Starting every game. Shortstop for the A's to this point.
Trying to cut off the run early. You see the infield in. No way they want to give up a run here.
Lowry lifts it down the left field line. That's going to make its way foul and into the seats.
Yeah, that's very unusual in the first inning, but it really reflects the problems Tigers have had scoring runs against Oakland. And Jim Leland knows we're not scoring many runs, so I can ill afford to fall behind. So he's trying to save this run early in the ballgame.
You see the shadows in between the plate and the mound as we played late afternoon baseball.
Well, don't be afraid to throw a ball down. He has not thrown a ball down yet. How are you going to get a ground ball? Mix in a curveball or something here.
Returns on this and sends it foul.
Yeah, if you call for that curveball, it'll force Pfister to really finish out in front, and that'll get him back into his good delivery.
Well, he got roughed up by the Tigers on August 28th. Allowed a season-high 7 runs to the A's on the 28th of August. Also allowed a season-high 13 hits in that game. A lot of those pitches were up. In the dirt for ball 1.
This is what Oakland does very well. They really make a pitcher throw strikes. They're a very patient hitting team. They saw the 4th most pitches in the American League per at bat, and they will work you over. That's what they did to Sanchez yesterday and got him out of the game early.
We're talking about Pfister's induced ground balls, 264 groundouts this season. Second most in the American League, only behind Joe Saunders at 266. Got to get the ball down. 1-2 is down, and on the ground through the left side, a base hit from third comes Crisp, and the Oakland A's strike first and jump on top 1-0. So Lowry gets his first hit of the series, and it drives in the game's first run.
Boy, did he need a hit badly. 0 for 12 coming into that at bat. You see a fastball up, not necessarily up, but out over the plate, and he hits this ball sharply in the hole between short and third for an RBI, but the ball was hit pretty hard. No one can make a play on it. The A's up 1-0 early.
Again, it's Coco Crisp who set the table for Lowry. Crisp has been on base a lot in the last 2 games.
One down, Lowry at first, and here's Brandon Moss. Takes a pitch in tight. Moss 2 for 11 in the series, but now has a home run to his credit and an RBI. Tigers infield at double play depth with 1 out as Moss will take strike 1.
Moss just not afraid to strike out, and then that's what he's pretty much done yesterday. Finally got a pitch he can drive out of the ballpark. That's why he is so dangerous. He could look so bad and then run into something.
This season, Moss here at Comerica Park hitting at .444 with 5 home runs. As he takes a pitch down and in.
Yeah, and that's their personality. It's all about big swings. Work the pitcher till he gets something you can hit, and that's a high sinker ball. And that's where high sinker balls go to rest in the seats. And Moss, he had been struggling in the series. Oakland has struck out 41 times in this series, but they have a 2-1 advantage because they knocked the ball out of the ballpark yesterday.
From a guy that doesn't give up home runs, Sanchez.
Pops it up down the left field line. Foul ground as Cabrera will go as far as he can, but can't make a play. Into the slide into the backhand, but couldn't get it. His legs have been better, and it appears some of that power is coming back as more time goes by, as he seems to be getting around a little bit better lately in this series than he was in the first 2 games.
You know, that ball wasn't in the air all that long, but anytime Cabrera almost gets to a ball, you're thinking somebody else that didn't feel like he does would have caught it.
Yeah, he's just not moving around, and obviously he's been battling that problem for a long time, all the way back into late August. But that was a concern for Jim Leland out in Oakland, and right there was a ball that a lot of third basemen would have caught.
2-2 to Moss. And he gets a piece to stay alive. Moss will strike out. He struck out 3 times in each of the first 3 games of this series. It's the second batter in Major League history to have 3 or more strikeouts in each of his 3 consecutive postseason games. Austin Jackson did it back in 2011. Two again. That's upstairs for ball 3.
Brandon Moss had a similar at bat in his first at bat yesterday. He saw 10 pitches and worked Sanchez for a walk. And he said that really gave him a feel for what Sanchez was throwing that inning. He gave everything he had in that first at bat, and that served him well later on in the game.
Moss will pop it up. Again, foul ground. Cabrera's over. This time he's got to play, and he makes it for the second out of the inning. That an easier try for Miguel Cabrera as he can get underneath it. 2 down.
Moss once again, being very aggressive with a high fastball. Luckily, this ball is up in the air long enough that Cabrera can camp underneath it.
So a frustrated Brandon Moss records the second out here of the first inning. That brings up Yoenis Cespedes. 5 for 13 so far in the series, and has had a hit in all 8 career postseason games that he's participated in. Of course, last year the first time that he's been in the postseason. There is strike 1.
Little tough hitting right now as they shadows from the light standard above the first base grandstand shining down on the field. You can see kind of a strobing effect between home plate and the mound.
Foul back. It's quickly 0-2.
But Pfister early on is just not on top of his game. I think he's kind of lucky if he can get out of this inning with just 1 run.
Pfister's not yet recorded a strikeout. He had set an American League record with 9 straight strikeouts. September 27th of 2012 against Kansas City. As he throws to first, and back is Lowry again.
And he is truly not a strikeout pitcher, although he set that record, and he would just as soon throw about 75 pitches and be pitching in the 8th inning. He wants to pitch to contact.
How do you punch out 9
guys
in a row and not be a punch-out pitcher?
He had great stuff in that game. It was against Kansas City, and he obviously struck out the entire lineup, and he had an assortment of pitches. He did it with changeups, fastballs, curveballs, and he was locked in for that stretch of 9 straight hitters.
Bucky is a guy who likes to go deep into games, at least 6 innings, 27 of his 32 starts, 8 or more innings, 5 times this year. Swinging a foul for Cespedes, who stays alive.
Cespedes, by most people's standards, they would say, well, he had a sophomore slump. He had 26 home runs and drove in 80. There are guys that have played years and not put up those kinds of numbers, but it's all about adjustments. And in the second half of the season, he really started to pick it up again.
He's had a very good postseason so far. He'll chop it foul and stay alive.
After last year, I thought he got comfortable. So at the start of the season, he was my pick to be the MVP. Going through what he had to go through to get to the States, and everybody knows the story behind it. With his family finally coming to be with him this season, I thought that would be a comfort zone for him, and he would take off, but it wasn't the case.
Well, the league knows him a little bit better now, and they've made him make some adjustments. And he's capable of making those adjustments. He's got a great hitting coach in Chili Davis. Chili, of course, a great major league player in his own right, but Chili has really worked hard with Cespedes, who is a tireless worker at the batting cage. They tried to shorten up his swing and get him to use the whole field.
Lengthy first inning here for Pfister, about to throw his 25th pitch of this first inning. This Tigers crowd rooting him on as he's jumped ahead 1-2, but Cespedes has fouled off a few. Popped up, foul again, back and out of play.
Once again, Pfister hanging, breaking ball. High middle, gets away with it.
Cespedes playing in left field only one time over the last 15 games of the regular season due to the sore throwing shoulder, but he has been better in the postseason with that rest. Hits it on the ground towards shortstop. Jose Iglesias will go to first, throws in time, and the inning is over. But the A's strike first in Game 4 on top, 1-0. Well, the Oakland A's have jumped on top 1-0 as the Tigers come to bat in the bottom of the first inning. And the Tigers batting order is brought to you by T-Mobile. Now, Austin Jackson leads it off, just 1 for 11 so far in the series. With Torrey Hunter got banged up yesterday, he's in right field. Miguel Cabrera at third base bats third. Another batting title for Cabrera. Prince Fielder at first base with Victor Martinez, the DH. Jhonny Peralta is in left field batting sixth with Alex Avila doing the catching. Omar Infante is at second base batting eighth, and Jose Iglesias, the slick fielding shortstop, bats ninth. And on the mound is Dan Straley today for the Oakland A's. Ready to work here to Austin Jackson with his first pitch, and that'll miss inside for ball one.
Once again, a rookie pitcher starting for the Oakland A's. What new? He got his feet wet last year, pitched about 39 innings, but this year had a nice year for them, winning 10 games. Throws the ball in the low 90s. Got a great slider is what he's got. Two-seamer.
5 stints with the A's this season, but he ended up making 27 starts even in the 5 stints. And as Bob Melvin told us before the game, anytime they had a chance to skip the 5th starter, they would send him back, and that's the reason that he ended up with 5 stints. It's a swing and a miss against that by Austin Jackson.
He really had a roller coaster season. He got off to a slow start. He went 1-2 with a 7 ERA in his first 5 starts, and then he picked it up and got out to a real good roll. But it was up and down season. But he finished up on a real high note, 4-1 in his last 6 starts.
You know, when you watch him throw, you see the punch out right there on just a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Once again, Jackson having a tough time, but this is a kid who led all the minor leagues last year in strikeouts, and you don't see necessarily electric stuff, but there's got to be a little deception there.
Now here is Torrey Hunter. There's banged up yesterday, as it turned out, diving for a ball. The first play of the game in right field, and hurt his shoulder, went numb on him, but is okay and back in the lineup today. Said after the game yesterday he'd be good to go today, and he is in. So the Chevrolet pitch tracks as he takes a pitch down and in.
There is no way in the world Torrey Hunter wasn't starting this game, given his numbers against Dan Straley. He is 7 for 10 against Straley with a double and 3 home runs. He would have had to have a bone sticking out before he left this game.
one fouled off. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Heck, you're right about the deception. I mean, that's 90 miles an hour, but it's got a little sneaky hop to it. And Torrey Hunter saw it all the way. Remember, it's still a tough time of the day for hitters. It's tough to pick up that ball. There are shadows in front of home plate. This is not a normal start time, so you can see the hitters are dealing with a lot of obstacles trying to pick up that baseball.
1-2. Hunter swings and misses, gets away from Vogt, who tosses it down to first base for the out. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Straley to start his outing. 2 down.
You could see how he gets punch-outs. Forget about that 90 miles an hour. What about this put-away, little blade he's got going down and away? Got to have confidence in your catcher, because this is where you want to throw it. Look at that thing go straight down, slider. You get a pitch like that that's so far in the dirt, somebody's swinging at it, it's nasty.
Yeah, and that slider does go straight down. A lot of people look at it first and say, wow, that must be a splitter, but that is a slider and a wipeout slider.
2 down for Miguel Cabrera. First pitch swing, hits one high in the air out towards right center field. Crisp is back there, shy of the track to make the catch. That ends the inning. Cabrera gives it a ride, but to the wrong part of the ballpark here at Comerica Park. 1-0 A's. This innovative stat is brought to you by Nissan. Percentage of pitches called strikes. And Doug Fister on the mound today for the Tigers is 5th in that category. David Robertson and the New York Yankees tops in percentage of pitches called strikes as Mr. surrendered a first inning run. Seth Smith leads it off here for the Athletics and takes strike 1. Speaking of strikes.
What that does is it gets the hitters in a swing mode, and that really puts you in a position to use your secondary pitches and get them to chase.
Smith 4 for 8 so far in the ALDS.
And that's just what he does. Lifetime, his career, he leads, walks per 9 innings, like 1.8 walks per 9 innings. He's right up there with guys like Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay. That's good company.
Hitting's hard. Oftentimes, pitchers give hitters way too much credit and try to be too fine early in the count. And that's what Oakland is trying to do as a hitting approach. But the more aggressive you are as a pitcher, the more swings you're going to induce.
This one fouled off to the left. Well, last night we saw the Dodgers go with Clayton Kershaw with a chance to wrap up this series. They did. Detroit Tigers dealing with an elimination game here today, and some thought perhaps we would see Max Scherzer come back a little bit early to pitch in this game and then maybe use Verlander for game 5 if necessary. But in talking with Jim Leland before the game, that was not something that he considered. Now, that said, Max Scherzer is in the bullpen as this game begins.
Well, I mean, it's, short leash here, elimination game. But going into this, he has all the confidence in the world of his rotation, and he shows them that. This is how they got here, is because of this rotation. We thought about it. We thought, what's going to happen? Is he going to use them or not? But going into this, that is how Jimmy Leland manages. He gives confidence to everybody on this club, and deservedly so.
This one is laced back up the middle into center field. Over the shoulder of Pfister, and Seth Smith has got his 5th hit of the American League Division Series.
Once again, it's location, and Pfister's not been able to get the ball down. That was a high sinker, and it's ripped right over the mound, and this has been a problem for him. It's letter high, and that's dangerous because Smith has got terrific power, as we saw in the game, and Pfister's fortunate he was able to duck out of the way of that shot up the middle.
Second straight inning, the lead runner is on for the Oakland A's. And here's Josh Reddick. 2 for 11 so far in the series. Has a home run as he takes ball 1.
That shot up the middle to right past Pfister remind me of the World Series last year. Remember, he got hit in the head? I mean, solidly got hit in the head and continued to pitch in that game. It was unbelievable.
Reddick had a tough season this year, hitting at .226 during the regular season. We're talking about Max Scherzer, and there he is in the bullpen.
What they did was Scherzer came out early this afternoon, threw, and then went back and told the manager, I'm good to go. So Pfister is on a short leash, especially since Scherzer is available out of the pen.
He's already on top 1-0. As this one gets through to the backstop, and heading for second base is Seth Smith. Covered quickly by Avila.
This is not pretty early on. We're talking about a control pitcher. We're giving him kudos about how many guys he doesn't walk, this and that, and he's been up since the get-go. I tell you, he hasn't pitched in a while, and that's, that has something to do with this too. I mean, these guys have had more than enough rest.
This year he did walk a career high 44 this year. There's a ground ball to first base. Fielder's got it. He will tag the bag, but on to third goes Seth Smith. With now 1 out here in the second inning.
Oakland plays team baseball. There's no question about it. You can look at the acknowledgement that Reddick gets in the dugout for moving Smith from second to third. He's thinking about pulling the ball right now, and he gets the perfect pitch to do it. A changeup right out over the middle.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. You're trying to pull the ball, and he gives you something like that. He almost has to throw that ball in the dirt.
So 1 down, Smith at third base, and here's Stephen Vogt. Infield in again all the way around here for the Tigers.
That's exactly how Vogt won the game. Game 2, infield in, bases loaded.
Same type of pitcher as well. Rick Porcello, a starter, was into the game in relief. He throws a sinking fastball much along the same lines as Doug Pfister's fastball.
Well, last year, Pfister picking up a no decision in his only ALDS start. He pitched 3 times in the playoffs last year, 0-1 with a 1.40. This one carved foul to the screen.
How about Stephen Vogt living a dream? 135 regular season at bats. Drove in the only run of game 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. And he was in Tampa Bay's organization at the start of the season.
Broken bat, little number off the mound is Pfister. He'll fire in time, and no advance for Smith. He returned to the bag at third. That's a big out. 2 down.
That is a big pitch by Pfister early on in the game right now. I mean, that's the biggest pitch of the game for him. He'll see a curveball down and in. I don't know how he hit that ball the other way, like a cue shot. Look at the spin on that ball, and he's a pretty good defensive fielding pitcher. 6'8", gets it done. Big out for him.
So 2 down, Smith at third base, and here's a number 9 man, Eric Sogard, still looking for his first hit in the ALDS, coming in 0 for 8. As he spins out of the way of ball one. First full season in the major leagues for Sogard. Appeared in 130 games, 110 starts overall. Some talk about seeing Alberto Callaspo at second base. Sogard's been a little bit better defensively. And has started all 4 games of this ALDS.
Tigers can't wait long on Doug Fister to get it down in the zone. You can see Jim Leland right behind him is the pitching coach, Jeff Jones. And you know they just can't afford to fall too far behind to have trouble enough scoring runs to begin with.
Only scored in 2 innings in this series. As the pitch is in there for a strike. 3-1, taken all the way with Sogard. Really, there was concern for the Tigers at the end of the regular season as far as scoring runs went. Ball 4, and he walks the number 9 man. Sogard down to first base.
And here comes the pitching coach. Jeff Jones is out of the dugout, and this is a real problem now because you've got Coco Chris coming to the plate with 2 outs and runners at the corners. He's already tripled in this game, and he is a first pitch fastball hitter. So now Fister, who has just walked the number 9 hitter, is going to be anxious to get ahead, and you've got a guy up there that's hunting fastballs.
I wouldn't like to be on the mound right now because I don't think he really knows exactly what he's doing. He cannot get the ball down to save his life right now. He had a pretty good little hook he got an out with by Vogt. I think he's going to have to stay away from that fastball. Like you said, Coco is going to be all over a piece of cheese. I'll tell you what.
Coco Crisp has had success against Fister. Now 8 for 20 with 3 triples against him. A 400 hitter against Fister. And Fister's already thrown 45 pitches. As he works through 2 outs in the second inning, Oakland has runners at first and third. As Crisp climbs in, he tripled in the first inning. In the dirt.
Yeah, he's looking for one pitch right now. He's looking for a fastball. He knows that Fister's struggling to throw anything over. And there the numbers Crisp has put up. He has been the table setter, and he's cashed in runs as well.
Crisp has popped 22 regular season home runs. A little check swing foul there.
Trying to trick him there with a little changeup. Curveball, changeup. You know, he's got a little cutter that he can cut in on left-handed hitters, and then he's got that little two-seamer that he starts at the left-handed hitter's hip for strike 3, but I don't know what he wants to do right here. Something down, again, soft.
Crisp will foul it back, and it's 1-2. The bat came flying out of his hands as well. Back towards the backstop.
Yeah, that was the cutter, and he got it in a pretty good spot.
That's a real good pitch right there. 86 miles an hour, but in a good spot. See, Coco couldn't get to it. Ball's up. Launches the bat.
Comerica Park trying to root on Doug Fister out of this first and third jam with 2 down. Tigers already down 1-0. The 1-2 to Crisp. In the dirt and smothered by Avila nicely as he is able to knock it down.
When you're catching a guy like Doug Fister, who throws a lot of sinking fastballs on a sharp hook, you're thinking down in the dirt all the time. So you anticipate that ball in the dirt. That's why that wild pitch got away from him earlier, because he called the fastball, expected it to be down, and he airmailed it.
It wasn't that bad of a fastball, but he's looking down. That's a great block by Avila. You got to be looking something off speed here by Coco. A little cutter in.
And Crisp hits it in the air to deep right field. Back goes Torrey Hunter onto the track to make the catch. A deep drive to right, but it's not enough. The A's have a 1-0 lead. Oakland A's on top 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Follow the MLB postseason on TBS wherever you go with postseason.tv. Get alternate camera angles, live batting practice, real-time highlights, and more on desktop and mobile devices. Get postseason.tv now for just $4.99 at MLB.com. Bottom of the second inning, Prince Fielder leads it off and takes strike one. And Straley struck out 2 and enjoyed a 1-2-3 first inning. Fielder so far 3 for 12 in the ALDS. They're followed by Victor Martinez and Jhonny Peralta here in the second inning.
Good changeup that had late life to it, and it went underneath the bat of Prince Fielder. Straley does a great job of settling into the game. First time through the order this season, he held opponents to a 201 batting average. So now he's got a 1-run cushion to work with, and he's pounding the strike zone early.
And he hits Prince Fielder. First base runner of the game for the Tigers, and it leads off this bottom of the second inning.
That ball's not that far inside. He almost throws his elbow at it. You see Prince. He did. He could have got out of the way of that ball, but might as well just take it there. Get something going for Detroit. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Yeah, he had plenty of opportunity to get out of the way of that. He knew what he was doing. He needed to get on base and get something going. Guys have had a tough time scoring runs.
So lead runner on here for the Tigers in the second inning. Here is Victor Martinez. Tigers DH. Get up over 300 during the regular season and 301. As he takes strike one, a high strike call. That's what Straley features.
See 60% on most fastballs, and that breaking ball is that slider. We've already seen one changeup. Threw it to Prince. But he doesn't bring it. 90 miles an hour is nothing nowadays.
Yeah, that's a pedestrian fastball, and certainly with his slider, it certainly reacts more like 93, 94, but You've got all three pitches in the hitter's mind. He's already gotten the changeup over. He's gotten the slider for a strikeout, and he's thrown fastball. So already he's established that he's going to use any of those pitches anytime.
Quickly ahead on a couple of high strike calls by home plate umpire Jim Reynolds. Martinez down here 0-2. And a swing and a miss makes quick work of Victor Martinez. That's a third strikeout for Dan Straley. One down.
That is that biting slider. Just as nasty to a left-hander as it is to a right-hander. You see this thing biting down and in, way out of the strike zone. You get hitters to look like that, miss that pitch by so much, you know it's got to be nasty.
Yeah, it's tight, real tight spin, and that's what hitters are looking for. When you get a sloppy slider, you can see a lot of seams on the baseball. His is tight. You don't see any seams, and it makes you think it's a fastball.
Well, Jhonny Peralta 1 for 5 so far in the ALDS. One out, and Prince Fielder at first base. It's a ball inside. The umpiring crew today: Jim Reynolds behind the plate, Tom Hallion, Mike DeMuro, and Mark Wegner. First to third and down the line. C.B. Buckner down the left field line. Crew chief Gary Darling down the right field line. 6-man umpiring crew for the postseason.
You know, Dennis, you talked about the Tigers and the problems with extra base hits. They've only had 3 extra base hits in the first 3 games. Straley hasn't allowed an extra base hit in his last 3 starts.
Something's got to give. And for the Tigers' sake, they need to make something happen, because this is a club that scored so many runs this year. And I think more than anything, they've been struggling for over a month, and it has a lot to do with Cabrera. I mean, he has not swung the bat. He's been hurt so long this second half of the season.
This is chopped to third. Donaldson will fire to second for 1, on to first for 2. Around the horn go the A's on the inning-ending double play. Through 2 in Game 4, the Athletics enjoy a 1-0 lead. Coverage on TBS presented by T-Mobile. Third inning of Game 4 of the American League Division Series between the A's and the Tigers. And the Athletics, on the benefit of a single run in the top of the first inning, enjoy a 1-0 lead as the A's come to bat here in the third. 2, 3, and 4 expected here for Oakland. Josh Donaldson, Jed Lowry, and Brandon Moss face Doug Fister, who's thrown 50 pitches through the first 2 innings and misses badly with ball 1.
Yeah, Fister's really biding his release point. He can't really get that hand where he wants to, and everything is all over the place. Real scatter shot right now as far as throwing quality pitches. He hasn't been able to locate anything.
Donaldson lined out to the right fielder Torrey Hunter first time up, and now grounds one softly towards third. Cabrera on the run, and it'll be late. Reaching at first base is Donaldson. And Cabrera not moving around very well, and coming down the line from third. His throw is tardy.
This is a swinging bunt almost. You see that Cabrera gets a good jump on it. You know, as soon as he was coming in on that ball, you just knew that this was a chance for a base hit, because he's sort of limping and takes a long time to deliver this ball. Donaldson gets down the line. This ends up being a big play, leadoff base hit, but just too long in the exchange from the glove to throwing the ball. And who knows if a regular third baseman would have made it, but you kind of think it would.
For the third straight inning, the A's have the lead runner on. As Jed Lowry fouls it back, it was his RBI single in the first inning.
Cabrera really aggravated his injury after that throw. You could really see him struggling to stop his momentum once he made the throw. He's dealing with a groin injury and abdominal strain, and you got to give him high marks for even being out on the field. I mean, obviously he's a big part of this ball club, but boy, oh boy, he's paying the price right now. Now watch after he makes the throw as he comes in, and then he's going to release it, but he has a tough time slowing down once he makes the throw, and then he really limped after the throw as he put a lot of pressure on that injury.
Lowry after the 0-2 grounds into the backhand of fielder who fires to second for one. Pitcher covers for out number two. Well, the Tigers needed that, and it was well orchestrated on the right side of the Tigers infield.
Boy, fielder makes a great play on that. He pounces on this ball, and he knows exactly what he's going to do with it, his momentum going that way. Good throw to Iglesias, back to Fister, who's on the bag covering. This is a tough play for a pitcher to get to the bag, and you see the exchange by Iglesias, and Fister's there way in time to turn that double play. Big play.
So 2 down, bases empty for Brandon Moss. Moss fouled out to Cabrera, and foul ground down the third base line, first time up. Moss takes the strike.
He's getting close. Yeah. Fister's getting close. He made 2 good pitches. The first one missed inside, but he's starting to get the bite on that 2-seamer.
Trying to find his bearings here as he works in the third inning.
Fister's unusual in this day and age in that he doesn't watch video of hitters, and he doesn't have a pitcher-catcher meeting before the game. He is truly all about touch and feel. He doesn't want to know what the guy's strengths and weaknesses are. He wants to read bats and make adjustments on the fly.
That's unusual nowadays with all this information.
Swing and a miss. Starting to feel it now is Doug Fister. His first strikeout ends the top of the third. 1-0. The A's have the lead as we head to the bottom of the third inning. And Miguel Cabrera re-injuring himself last inning. It appeared on that play at first base where he threw across the diamond, and afterwards certainly wincing, whether it's the ab or whether it is the lower portion of his body, all banged up, groin, hip, you name it, he's got it. And trying to play his way through it, gut his way through this ALDS. Alex Avila represents the beginning of the bottom third of this Tigers order. We'll see Infante, then Iglesias as the Tigers come to bat in the bottom of the third inning. There is strike one, and certainly a lot of strikes from Dan Straley early in this game.
You know, one of the few times that the A's go to this shift on Avila, dead pull hitter. I've seen him hit the ball to left center field out of the ballpark.
Another strike, and it's 0-2. That one picks up the outside corner. 2 for 9 so far in the ALDS.
Josh Donaldson even made an unusual move now with a 1-2 count. He has moved more up the middle. You would think he would go the opposite way with 2 strikes and anticipating Avila just trying to put the ball in play, but he is playing more to pull once Avila got the 2 strikes.
1-2 is grounded towards the shortstop Lowry on the right side of the infield, who throws out Avila for the first out of the bottom of the third inning. But moments ago we spoke to A's hitting coach Chili Davis. Chili, you have to be very pleased with the way these Oakland A's have been swinging the bats here in the postseason, much like the regular season.
Yeah, you know, the boys are giving us good ABs. They're making, you know, guys pitch. And, you know, they're aggressive. They're an aggressive team. But the good thing about us is that, you know, we're capitalizing on opportunities when we get them.
Chili, when you first got here, you convinced these guys to sit on pitches, and your home run numbers have jumped. Now you're not concerned about strikeouts, but the home runs have actually really jumped again for a second straight year.
Well, you know, everybody's going to strike out. It's just how you strike out. I mean, are you getting yourself out, or is the guy on the mound getting you out? You talked about sitting on pitches. I don't think we're necessarily sitting on anything. You know, we're just trying to get good pitches to hit, and when we get them, we're going to be aggressive at them. You know, whatever time in the at bat it is, early or late, we're going to be aggressive to pitches we can hit.
Well, Chili Davis has certainly done an outstanding job here with the Oakland A's. They make you work.
Let's talk about patience and power. Don't tell me you're not sitting on something. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
As a pitcher, I know you sit on something, you give it to them, and they're on it. To drive a ball out of the ballpark, you know, you almost have to commit to something.
It's not so much that you're guessing with the pitcher. You just have an idea what you want to hit. And for me, that's how younger hitters learn as they grow with more experience, recognizing what you can do in a particular at bat and what that pitcher might allow you to do.
Omar Infante reaches out, pokes this to right, but Reddick is there for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Tigers here in the bottom of the third inning.
Straley looks good early on. We've seen an assortment of pitches, one being a decent changeup. He's throwing strikes. They've given him that fastball for a strike on a couple of occasions. We'll see if they change their act on the second time around.
And here's Jose Iglesias with 2 outs so far, 1 for 9 in the division series, which came to Detroit as part of a 3-team trade with Boston and Chicago. And part of that trade will be pitching in Game 4 tonight for the Red Sox against the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's Jake Peavy.
Yeah, it was a good trade for everyone. Obviously, Garcia goes from Detroit to Chicago. The right fielder's got a bright future. Jose Iglesias is starting tonight. Jim Leyland thought about the possibility of using Jhonny Peralta at shortstop, but with Fister on the mound, he felt like there's going to be a lot of plays on the infield, so he wanted the range of Iglesias at short. He didn't expect him to hit much.
No, but it's not going to come to that. I think at this point he had to pick one or the other, and Fister being on the mound had a lot to do with the reason why he's at short. Will this kid ever hit? This year he hit over 300 in the big leagues, but
Softly grounded to first, and Moss will race to the bag for the out that ends the inning. Another easy inning for Dan Straley, who has a 1-0 lead through 3. Well, after the game, watch Dirk Hayhurst's in-depth analysis of MLB postseason on an all-new Behind the Mic, powered by Ford. Watch the segment after the game at BleacherReport.com/Behind the Mic. Of course, in the shadows here at Ford Field at Comerica Park, where this crowd has been quieted a little bit by what Dan Straley has done for the Oakland A's. Tigers do not have a hit through the first 3 innings as the Athletics come to bat here in the top half of the 4th inning. One is Cespedes, Seth Smith, and Josh Reddick expected to bat here in the 4th inning. Cespedes 0 for 1. So grounded out to shortstop in the 1st inning. It appeared Fister started to really get it going there in the 3rd inning finally.
Well, he dropped a curveball on Brandon Moss to punch him out, and then the big double play ball after the kind of a weak ground ball base hit that Cabrera had trouble with.
Chop to short. Iglesias plays the high hop, and the throw is going to be just in time. Well, moments ago, we spoke to Tigers manager Jim Leyland. Well, Jim, it's certainly been a struggle so far trying to get those bats going, certainly at the end of the year, and so far in this division series, still waiting for your club to break out offensively.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, right now, Straley's just throwing strike one. You know, he's coming right after us, throwing strike one, and, you know, we're not really getting after it, you know, so that's a little puzzling.
You know, Jimmy, you saw Fister out early in this game, could not get the ball down, but looks good. Last inning, it looked like he found it.
Well, we're hoping so. You know, he had a little tough time bouncing some breaking balls and everything. He hadn't really got good rhythm, but hopefully after that last inning, he'll get a little stronger.
Jim Leyland still waiting for this offense to break open. I mean, they are just too good of a team to be this quiet in this series.
Yeah, and Lloyd McClendon, the hitting coach, feels like they haven't been selective enough. They haven't been waiting on their pitches. And when you get shut out as often during this postseason as they have in innings, hitters, even veteran hitters, have a tendency to press. They want to make something happen, and the Athletics pitching staff hasn't allowed them to do that.
I think when you're an all-or-nothing team, this is going to happen. And, you know, especially in the playoffs, you're facing some good pitchers, facing pitchers you've never seen. Sonny Gray comes to mind, you know.
They know Sonny Gray now, don't they?
Tigers have scored in 3 of the last 48 innings dating back to the regular season, and only in 2 innings in this American League Division Series. Say they are struggling offensively is certainly an understatement. 2-1 is grounded to first, and Fielder will flip to Fister, who covers the bag. 2 down.
Yeah, Fister's starting to get the kind of outs he needs. Ground ball outs. He's getting the ball bottom of the strike zone. And we talked about him being his own mechanic. He's a guy that can make the adjustments. He has a good feel for his pitching, and he understands what he needs to do to get the ball where he's most effective.
Well, you see, no pitch is the same. I mean, he mixes everything up, with the fastball, the curveball, the changeup, and this is the type of pitcher he is. Ground ball pitcher, doesn't walk guys, keep the ball in the ballpark. But when he missed tonight, even when he misses, it's kind of ugly. He's missing badly. So he's found it a little bit, but he got lucky there with Coco Crisp. That could have been a 3-run bomb looking back.
There's a line into right center field. It's in for a base hit. Austin Jackson races over to cut it off. Reddick is thinking too, and he'll get there with a head-first slide. A 2-out double for Josh Reddick, and that's the 5th hit of the ball game for the A's.
See, there's no bite to this ball. The ball's out over the middle of the plate, and Reddick knows what to do. This fastball just right there hits this ball in the gap. You think it's just a base hit, but he goes for 2. By the time Jackson gets it in, headlong dive, safe, easy at second.
Now, you hit a ball in the gap with 2 outs, you've got to be thinking 2. Just trying to get yourself into scoring position.
So Reddick at second with 2 down. Stephen Vogt the batter. And Vogt takes strike 1. Grounded back to Fister, the pitcher, in the 2nd inning.
Stephen Vogt, of course, that game-winning single in the 1-0 game in Game 2. And I asked him about people that contacted him afterwards. He said, I heard from everybody. People I played Little League with. My college coach was there for the first 2 games. Heard from a lot of friends I haven't talked to in a long time. He's from Visalia, California, and there's some pretty good major leaguers that have come from Visalia. Jim Wolford played with the Royals in Montreal. Rance Mullenix, who had a nice career. You know Rance Mullenix well, Eck.
What is it?
Aaron Hill. He, too, from Visalia. So they got a nice little representative major league roster out of that small town.
Nice pick by Fister off to his left, and he discards Stephen Vogt at first base to end the inning. They leave Reddick at second. shows you how to knock it out of the park. Go to upwave.com/baseball. We head to the last half of the fourth inning, and Buck, you were talking about first time through 201 for Straley. Now those numbers do go up as the inning goes on, but Straley not allowed to hit through the first three. Only base runner for the Tigers. He hit Prince Fielder to begin the second inning, as Austin Jackson leads it off with a swing and a miss for strike one.
I think being an effective starting pitcher is the most challenging position in Major League Baseball, because you have to make those adjustments 3 and 4 times through the order. You got to be smart. You have to be able to command 3 pitches, and you have to be aware of what hitters are trying to do. So far, Straley has shown that he can command all 3 pitches.
Well, like Leland was saying, he said, we're letting him have strike one the first time up. You see Jackson trying to leave on the first pitch, swings and misses, and then takes it down the middle.
Takes the 0-2 outside, 1-2. Austin Jackson struck out in the first inning, one of 3 Ks.
Yeah,
Dan Straley.
Excuse me, Dan. Lloyd McClendon was talking about the at-bats. He said, our guys got to grind out at-bats a little tougher. So we're looking across the diamond in Oakland. They just won't give anything up in an at-bat.
Jackson strikes out again. Second time today he's been down by way of the K.
They're not real happy here with Jackson. When he strikeouts start building up with him, and you see this once again, this nasty slider that he has featured in this game. It's a put-away slider where he gets a lot of punch-outs, gets a lot of guys, not just Jackson, but they just cannot get something going. The guy leading off this game, he just hit a double the first time up. Once again, up and in on Hunter. We've seen that a couple times in this series.
Well, I know one thing. Torrey's not going to point at him. The last time Sonny Gray came out up and in, he pointed at him, and that got Sonny Gray all fired up. But that pitch was up and in, and Hunter just kind of backed out of the way of it.
Hunter struck out swinging in the first inning. And now sends one foul just outside the bag at third.
Well, he might as well do something. He came into this game 7 for 10 off him with 3 jacks. So it's not such a bad thing to do, and then get him out of the way. No big deal, and not a problem with that.
Sonny Gray did that to Hunter in game 2.
Chopper to third. Donaldson throws out Hunter. 2 down here in the fourth inning.
You know, what's amazing to me is this Oakland A's pitching staff. Over the course of the last couple of years, all these young guys, one after another, the confidence they show on the mound, it's like they've been there forever, and this is exactly where they're supposed to be. That kid in particular, he was so good the other night, but Straley, he came up last year, pitched about 40 innings, so he got his feet wet. He thinks he belongs. Here he is in a postseason game. We aren't even going to see A.J. Griffin, who's another kid that came up last year, had a nice year with them, just one after another with the Oakland A's staff.
Well, the difference between Sonny Gray and Dan Straley. Sonny Gray's a #1 pick. Straley's a 24th round pick. So you got to give that guy, Kurt Young, a lot of credit, the pitching coach.
Along with A.J. Griffin, who is not a high draft choice either. You got to have a few of those guys.
They do a terrific job of identifying talent first off and then developing them. Kurt Young, in his second stint with the A's, has been in the organization forever, and he does a great job, man. Doesn't work a lot on video, doesn't work a lot on mechanics, and boy, he gives these pitchers a lot of confidence.
Fly ball to center field, playable for Coco Crisp out there. He'll put it away. It's another 1-2-3 easy inning for Dan Straley. We're through 4 with the A's on top 1-0 in game 4. We head into the 5th inning back at Comerica Park in Detroit as the Oakland A's have a 1-0 advantage. Eric Sogard leads it off here for the A's and takes strike one. A good indicator on Doug Fister whether or not he's going good is whether or not he's getting ground ball outs. And his 5 of the last 6 outs have been on the ground as he's starting to settle in here in the 3rd and 4th innings. Gave up the run back in the first after the leadoff triple by Coco Crisp, who came around to score, and that is the difference in this game. 1-1 is ball 2. He's also getting deep into that pitch count. He's at 75 pitches, working to the first batter here of the 5th inning. Sogard a grounded right side, and Fonte to his left. 1 down. MLB Fan Cave is back in 2014. Players, celebrities, concerts, and more. You can be part of next season's team. Go to MLBFancave.com and apply now. 1 out in the 5th. Another ground ball out for Fister. And here's Coco Crisp.
Fister uses that changeup like a sinker. He gets a lot of ground balls with that pitch. Here's a big guy coming at you like that. You think he's going to bring it, and it's one of his best pitches. It's just a little
dead fish.
Dead fish.
Yeah, it's just a dead fish is what it is. He just throws it up there, and the bottom falls out and hit it off the end of the bat. It's a good pitch. Another one, 82 miles an hour. Not a full-blown changeup, but it's just enough to create that extra movement.
Coco almost got him last time up. 2 guys on. Sent Hunter all the way to the track.
Came right back with another fish. Caught the corner that time.
21% fish.
It's against lefties this season as he deals with Coco Crisp. 1 for 2 in the game, and Coco lines one out to center field. It's in for a base hit. Austin Jackson would get it back in, but Crisp always a threat to take off. Is aboard here with 1 down in the 5th inning.
Well, Coco doesn't miss anything, but ball in his eyes. He lines it to center field. Well, he's the hottest hitter on this club, and like you said, he's the igniter, and he can run a little bit. Not this year, only stole 22 bases this year, but he's the type of guy who could steal 50 if he wanted to.
Yeah, he cut it down because of the development of guys like this, not wanting to run into outs. They hit the ball out of the ballpark, so he wasn't as aggressive this year as he has been in the past. But he's still got that stolen base in his back pocket.
You know, for a big guy, Fister holds on runners. They don't really run on him.
He unloads it in a hurry. Real short stride for a big guy. He doesn't have much of a high leg kick.
Donaldson batting now. Jed Lowry waiting on deck. 1 out, 1 on. And Donaldson will take the strike. First full season in the majors for Josh Donaldson. Kind of a breakout season for him in 2013. And played a team leading 158 games during the regular season. It's actually up and down 3 times last year. It appears to be here to stay now for the Oakland A's.
Yeah, last year he started out as a catcher, and then they had the injury to Scott Sizemore, and he moved him to third. He struggled defensively and at the plate, sent him back to Sacramento, and then brought him up later on in the season.
Clears this out towards center field. Austin Jackson is there, playing a shallow center to make the catch for the second out of the 5th inning. It's a good thing he was. That was falling fast. 2 down. That'll take us to Jed Lowry. 2 outs and Coco Crisp at first base. Lowry 1 for 2, drove in the game's only run back in the 1st inning with his single through the left side, and then bounced into a 3-6-1 double play in the 3rd inning. 1 for 14 in the series.
Can see how quickly Fister unloaded that ball. He didn't come to much of a stop, but certainly Didn't give Coco Chris much of an opportunity to get a lead over at first.
You talk about the Tigers being cold, nobody swinging the bats. You think about the A's, they're not exactly crushing the ball either. Punching out all those first couple of games, they punched out galore. And then the home runs, poof, got 3 home runs. Yesterday's game against Sanchez. Coco's probably the only guy really that's been swinging the bat well.
42 strikeouts for Oakland so far in this series. But you're right, and Coco got himself into a good groove by taking a lot of pitches in games 1 and game 2. In game 2, he walked 3 times. So now, because he saw so many pitches, the bat's really starting to play.
In the air to right field, sending Torrey Hunter back towards the warning track at the wall. He'll leap and it's gone. A 2-run home run for Jed Lowry. Had 15 during the regular season, but hits a 2-run shot here in the postseason and gives the A's a 3-0 lead.
Jed Lowry joins the party with a bat. This is a big home run for the A's. I don't know what he was trying to do. Get a ball in on him. A little cutter that he left right there. I didn't think he got it. I thought he skied it. You saw Hunter just glide back. I thought he had a beat on it. This ball goes out just out of the reach of his glove. 3-0 Oakland.
The A's have homered in all 6 games they've played here at Comerica this season, including the 4 in the regular season. They've now hit 11 home runs against the Tigers in the Tigers' home ballpark.
They have been comfortable here, to say the least. And Lowry's had a big game. He's driven in all 3 runs here for the A's. As Brandon Moss takes a pitch in tight.
That's what's so challenging about pitching to this A's lineup. There's not one guy you can focus on and say, okay, we shut him down. We've got him well in hand. Chili Davis has a bunch of good hitters up and down the order.
Moss skies one to center field. Austin Jackson over a step or 2. And he'll haul it in, but the damage has been done. Jed Lowry with a 2-run home run has put the Athletics on top 3-0. Just out of the reach of Torrey Hunter. Jed Lowry's put on quite a show here for the Oakland A's. He's driven in all 3 A's runs. Oakland on top now 3-0 thanks to his 2-run shot in the top half of this, the 5th inning. Prince Fielder leading it off here for the Tigers in the bottom half, trying to put together some sort of answer. Foul back to the screen. This was just out of the reach. Torrey Hunter tried to time that leap but couldn't grab it.
He made a tremendous attempt at that, but Lowry wasn't quite sure that he came up with it or not. But I'll tell you what, they just pass it around up and down this lineup. There's so many guys that can go deep.
To the left field, Cespedes on the run, heading towards the line. It'll drop for a base hit. They're just slicing away from Cespedes, and it lands fair. Prince Fielder is aboard to begin the bottom of the 5th.
First hit of the ball game for the Tigers, and it's another single.
A little doinker down the left field line. I guess Prince is doing his job. Got hit by the pitch and then flips that little flare down the left field line. Cespedes just sort of gives up on it. It looked like a little slider down the middle of the plate, end of the bat. Kind of an ugly swing, and Cespedes pulls up, can't get there.
Singles won't win it for Detroit. They've got to hit the ball in the gap and out of the ballpark.
Victor Martinez struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. They check on Fielders back to the bag.
What are you checking on Fielder for?
He wasn't ready to throw the pitch to the plate, that's all.
Up and away for ball 1.
Boy, Stephen Vogt's making a good trip right here. After the first hit of the ball game on a little flare, he airmails the worst pitch he's thrown all game long. And Vogt didn't wait 1 second, went right to the mound and says, hey, let's get it back down in the strike zone where you need to be. Oftentimes, catchers will wait a pitch or two, and if you allow a pitcher to throw a couple more bad pitches, boom, right back in the ball game for Detroit. But Vogt made a good trip to the mound.
Give the guy a break. It was his first pitch from the stretch.
We got to keep an eye on your pitches.
I got it. I know.
Up top again, same general spot as he falls behind Martinez. 2-0.
Detroit has got to get something happening. This is the inning. They've got to do it. They've got to answer that 2-run home run.
They're the ones that are supposed to be knocking the ball out of the yard.
They do not have a home run to this point in the series. Martinez lines it down the right field line, but he's out ahead. A foul ball.
Boy, he was all over that 2-0 fastball. Just pulled the trigger too quick. There's no way he could keep this ball fair. I mean, he wants it. That ball looks like a launch job. From there, you think it's a home run, but it's so far foul, just too quick.
To Martinez. On the ground and through into right field, a base hit. Prince Fielder will go to second base on the single by Martinez. And the first 2 Tigers have reached here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, here they come. Straley's got to sort of find himself again after throwing a no-no for 4 innings. Little flare that starts it off, and then another fastball he throws belt high. He's hoping this is a double play ball. No such luck. Ball's in the hole. Base hit. There could clog some bags here, but this is a high fastball. Smoked into the hole. You know that Prince is not going to go past second base, but maybe that's the break they needed right there to get it going.
2 on, nobody out for the Tigers. Jhonny Peralta takes a look at strike 1.
Goes right back to the slider to get a hit in the at-bat. Peralta grounded into a double play. Detroit in the series has now grounded into 4 double plays.
Well, they can clog up the bases. You all know that. They just can't run.
They truly are station to station.
Pretty good pitch. Straley, we mentioned he went back and forth from the minors to the big leagues. AAA Sacramento. He's thrown for 4 different catchers while he was in the big leagues. John Jaso, Stephen Vogt, Norris, and Suzuki. They've all really worked him very effectively. He and Vogt worked together in Sacramento during AAA before Vogt was called up. But Straley can pitch. He's a guy that's had to prove himself at every level. The neck, you mentioned his 190 strikeouts, led the entire major leagues last year, just over 150 innings.
You can use one right here with that put-away slider. He's got to throw him a biter right here.
Kicks off Vogt, but no advance for the base runners.
See 3 sliders that Peralta has seen this at bat.
This is where Peralta really needs to grind. That's what McClendon, the hitting coach, was talking about. You got to battle, protect the play, put the ball in play.
Two-two pitch. Peralta hits it in the air to left field. Cespedes going back on the track, leaps and it's gone. A 3-run home run ties the game for the Tigers with 1 swing of the bat.
Detroit down 3-0. Do they answer? He just saw 3 breaking balls and he gets a cookie and he does what he's supposed to do with this. Peralta's been out so long and they needed this so badly. Detroit Tigers, you see, he's thrown so many good breaking balls and he throws him a fastball right down Broadway. He lifts this ball. You knew it had a chance as soon as it left the bat. Tie ball game.
First extra base hit Straley's given up in his last 4 starts. When you miss as much time as Jhonny Peralta, your timing on breaking balls is going to be off more than it is on fastballs. You can get to fastballs even though you haven't had many at-bats. He missed 50 games with the suspension. I'm surprised they gave him a fastball on that 2-2 pitch.
It's a brand new game now as Alex Avila stands in. And a swing and a miss for strike 1 for Avila.
Straley threw that breaking ball. The pitch before the bomb was so bad in the dirt. You know, he just didn't have a feel for it. But that fastball 2-2 right there, major mistake.
As a catcher, I like to go back-to-back with breaking balls because the feel is fresh in the pitcher's mind. He knows he buried that previous one, but the slider's his bread and butter pitch. Give him a chance to make an adjustment and come right back with it.
You can't get beat on that fastball there. A guy that hasn't been playing.
Avila strikes out. It's a 5th K for Straley. What a home run for Jhonny Peralta that has tied this game at 3 aside.
Cespedes has a chance here. Once again, he goes skies for this ball just out of his reach, just like Hunter. That ball almost nicked his glove.
What an athlete. And you can see the reaction from Victor Martinez, the trail runner. You talk about a team in need of a big hit. The Tigers were desperate for somebody to get a big hit. How about Jhonny Peralta? He's got 5 RBIs in 2 games. Jim Leland once again knows what his team needed. They needed Peralta's bat.
Omar Infante takes the strike.
They were as good as dead after that home run by Lowry. I'm telling you, I just thought they didn't have anything in them. The little flare by Fielder started it off.
Chop foul, 1-2 down to Infante.
Remember the adjustments the hitters have made against Straley throughout this season. They hit 201 first time through the order, 243 second time, and that's where they've done the damage here. Second time through the order, they touched him up for 3 runs.
you wonder, you go to the stretch, you've been thrown out of the windup for 4 innings, and then the 5th inning, you kind of just lose it a little bit.
In the air to right field, Josh Reddick makes his way in. And we'll put it away for out number 2. Saw Dan Otero warming in the pen for the A's. First action we have seen in the bullpen for either side today.
Yeah, you were all over that first pitch. First pitch he threw out of the stretch, he missed badly. And he was all over the strike zone before he got into that stretch position.
Action in the Tigers pen. There's Drew Smyly warming in the pen for Detroit as this is popped up. Foul off first. Brandon Moss has got to play, and he makes it to end the inning, but the damage has been done. The Tigers get a 3-run home run from Jhonny Peralta. Ties the game at 3-aside in Game 4. Everything has changed here from Detroit. Another reception for Jhonny Peralta as he returns to his left field spot after his big 3-run home run that has tied this game and brought this Comerica Park crowd to life. We head into inning number 6, and Jhonny Cespedes leads it off here for the Athletics. Pfister back out there. His first pitch is a strike over the outside corner. Cespedes 0 for 2 has done the same thing twice. It's ground out to the shortstop, Jose Iglesias.
Pfister, he's got new life. You talk about giving up that big home run, down 3-0, come back, you're tied. There's still going to be a short leash right here. Anybody gets on, you got to be thinking about the bullpen right now, Leland.
Well, he's got 4 left-handers in a row. And that's why Drew Smyly is up and throwing again. After Cespedes, it's Smith, Reddick, Vogt, and Sogard. So I would think this is probably going to be his last batter. Mike Rojas, the bullpen coach. Scherzer is in the bullpen, but they're going to need time to get him ready. But right now, this next move was going to be the left-hander, Drew Smyly.
In the dirt. Clanks off Avila and back to the backstop to even the count at 2-2.
That was almost on the grass. He really buried that breaking ball.
Cespedes grounds it foul. Will do it again. 2-2.
You really have to admire Pfister for what he has done tonight, and he had nothing. He was really scuffling to get any outs. He gave up the first inning run after Chris tripled, but then he battled and made some nice adjustments and had a clean inning in the third. Gave up a 2-out double in the fourth, but he has held his own in this game. And he really hasn't had his A game together.
I don't think so at all. I think he's fortunate to be where he is right now. He'd love to get an out right here because, like you said, he's done after this.
Payoff pitch to Cespedes. And it's on the ground at third base. Nicely picked in the backhand by Cabrera. Throw is good. One down. Sharply hit. The pick by Cabrera. Let's send it to our Atlanta studios and Keith Olbermann. Keith. All right, Keith, thanks very much. Back here at Comerica Park in Detroit, where the Tigers and A's are now tied 3-3. Here is Seth Smith. Smith 1 for 2 in this contest. He singled in the second inning, grounded out in the fourth.
Leland just looking for outs. You see a sharply hit ground ball to Cabrera. Made a nice play on it.
There is Max Scherzer now warming in the pen.
That's really interesting. Scherzer is up now, and I would think that they want Scherzer to start a clean inning. I don't think they would bring him in. But can you imagine the emotional boost that this ballpark's going to get seeing Scherzer go to the mound in relief here?
Now, some wondered whether or not he would get the start on short rest today with the Tigers' backs to the wall in this elimination game.
Well, it's nice the fact that Verlander's waiting in the wings too. They've got two of them.
Yeah,
so he can pitch, right? So he can pitch game 5.
Right side, and it's picked by Fielder. He will flip to Pfister, 2 down. More ground ball outs for Doug Pfister, 2 down in the 6th inning.
I tell you, Leland has so much confidence in these pitchers. You know, here we are thinking, that's it, all these left-handed hitters coming up, and what's the chance of him staying with him? And
I tell you what, he is something else, isn't he? And he gives his players so much confidence. And he said, you know what, I got a lot of suggestions about what I should do for this game. And we really appreciate them. And some of them are probably pretty good ideas. But we're not going to do it.
Some are really interesting, he said.
Right.
Interesting.
And he said, you know, he can understand, you know, second guessing why he stayed with Sanchez so long yesterday. He understands that's the way the game is. But, you know, you give your pitchers and your players confidence. You know, they're not looking over their shoulder.
So I guess he's got a pretty good idea of what he's doing.
Yeah, I would say so. And they're tough decisions, right? And in this day and age, you know, there's probably about 4.5, 5 million managers around the country, and they all think they have a better idea than Jim Leland. But the players know who's running the ship here.
Well, Josh Reddick doubled his last time up. 1 for 2 showing so far today in Game 4. They'll pop it up down the third base line. Cabrera gingerly makes his way over, but that's well back into the seats and out of his reach.
You know, Cabrera is a great player, obviously, Triple Crown winner, MVP, and all of that other stuff, but you really got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, I know everybody wants to play in the postseason, no question about it, but he is playing, you know, you got to believe 75%, maybe even less. And he's out there and he's doing everything he can to contribute. But you know, there are guys in this day and age that have a feeling like I might get a cramp. And maybe I should come out of the game. Not Cabrera.
Reddick grounds one right side, and Fonte on 2 hops will fire to first. It'll end the inning. Pfister has a shutdown inning, 1-2-3 in a game that's tied 3-3. 3-3 the score as we head to the last half of the 6th inning in this ALDS. And it's a strike over the outside corner to Austin Jackson. Jackson's 0 for 2, down by way of the K twice in this game, and 1 for 13 in the series. In fact, the top 2 hitters, Jackson and Hunter, they're 3 for 25 combined in this series. They have not been able to set the table for the teeth of the Tigers' order.
That 3-run home run is just so huge. I mean, unbelievably huge.
Jackson will strike out yet again. This one freezes him and says some stuff to Jim Reynolds, but he's out number 1 of the 6th inning.
He's confused right here. He doesn't know what to do. You know, thinking, got that slider in the back of his mind. He throws him a fastball outside corner, comes back a little bit.
Boy, confused is a good word. He is in between pitches, and obviously he's prone to strike out a lot. He has struck out 3 times already tonight.
One down for Torrey Hunter. He will chop one foul. Hunter has struck out swinging and grounded out to third base. The sunlight no longer a factor here at all. Kurt Young on the phone to his pen. Swinging a foul that gets a big bit of Stephen Vogt.
Right, that knocked the wind out of him. Hit him right in the chest protector, and he's going to take a while to regroup a little bit. He got hit right in the sternum, and that knocked the wind out of you. Watch the ball go right back into his chest. I don't care how much padding you have, you get hit right square in your chest like that, and that's going to create some problems. Right over his heart. It hurts.
Torrey Hunter climbs back in here, down to the count 0-2, and takes a ball high. It does appear that Doug Fister's night is over as Max Scherzer continues to warm in the Tigers' pen. Congratulations all the way around from Fister as he arrived in his dugout at the end of last inning, having thrown 104 pitches, and Scherzer's just kind of looking on now.
Quite a job by Fister. To me, is a great job because he didn't have anything.
Hunter strikes out at a pitch down and away in the dirt. Back-to-back Ks for Straley, 7 in all. Let's check in with David Aldridge, who has more on Miguel Cabrera, who's really gutting it out, David.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, this is a very proud man here. You know, he told me the other day, nobody is going to feel sorry for me, and I'm not going to feel sorry for myself out there. Even if he can't drive the ball the way we all have seen him do, he still thinks he can help the Tigers both at the plate and in the field. He said, if I'm out there, there's no excuses. And maybe he's getting closer. Josh Donaldson thought yesterday one of the fly balls he hit in Game 3 was a home run until the wind knocked it down in right field, Don.
Thanks, David, as Cabrera has put the ball in the air twice in this game, flying to center in the first and then again in the fourth.
We've seen a lot of pitchers go away from him. A lot of fastballs away. Before you're saying, you know, you got to throw the ball in on Cabrera. Those sinkers real biting down and in, but we've seen more fastballs away approach to him.
Yeah, I believe they just don't think he can drive it out of the park that way, and they missed inside, and he gets a base hit. Vogt was set up on the outside corner. Straley missed all the way across the plate, and Cabrera didn't miss that one.
So a 2-out single here for Cabrera.
See a mistake by Straley. Just threw him a high fastball to get his eye level up. Then he threw him a kind of a backup slider. The ball's down, but Cabrera doesn't miss anything. You'll just take a base hit right now from Cabrera.
Gives Prince Fielder a chance to come up here with a man on. Fielder has been aboard twice. He was struck with a pitch in the second inning and then singled in the fifth. Oh, a swing and a miss for strike one.
Straley's got that equalizer changeup that he throws to left-handers.
The A's confident that Cabrera can't run. You can see Moss is playing behind the start, so he'll have a little bit more range should Fielder pull a ball on the ground.
Fielder fouls it back and finds himself in a hole, 0-2.
Fielder's just feeling for the ball. Everything is just away, like he's just flicking it to make contact with it. Boy, Doug Fister, what a job he did, huh?
He really did. And I hate to say that he didn't have anything, but it was kind of a mess of an appearance for him. He's trying to find it, you know, and he got the ground balls when he needed to. Did just a good enough job to get him there.
In the dirt and blocked by Vogt. No advance at first for Cabrera.
Yeah, I think Doug Fister would tell you he was fighting his command and fighting his release point all night long, but he was able to minimize the impact of not having great command. I mean, he knows he's not a power guy. He's not going to overpower you by missing his spots. He's got to hit his spots.
You look at the breakdown for Straley in this game. He did not give up the hit to the Detroit Tigers until the 5th inning. One-two is a swing and a miss, and he strikes out Prince Fielder. That's 8 Ks for Straley. He strikes out the side. We played 6, and we're tied at 3. Starter Max Scherzer makes his way in here for the 7th inning, and the response from this Comerica Crowd Park as they see him make his way in. In this 3-3 game, as we get ready for the 7th inning, this will be his first relief appearance since 2011. Jim Leyland elected not to start him on short rest. Instead, he brings him in here in the 7th inning after Doug Fister works the first 6 for the Tigers. And here's Scherzer. Stephen Vogt leads it off here for the Oakland A's and fouls it off to the left.
That relief appearance in 2011 was in a similar situation. It was Game 5 of the ALDS. He came in relief of Doug Fister. It was a 3-1 game. He pitched an inning and a third, gave up 2 hits and a run, and was credited with a hold. So he has been in this position in the past.
Scherzer Game 1's winner for the Tigers, and a 21 game winner in the regular season.
Well, he's done it all this year. Started the All-Star game, and nothing he hasn't done. The game he threw, game 1 in this series, was one bad mistake to Cespedes, but that was devastating with some of the pitches that he threw in that game. No chance by the A's.
How big a deal is this, Dennis, to come in after you've been starting all year long as a reliever?
There's a little more, you're a little more hyped up, obviously. How can you not be?
This is grounded by the dive of Infante at second base, and Jackson will gather it in center. It's a leadoff single for Stephen Vogt.
You see the fastball here to Vogt. He stings this ball back up the middle. And on a dive by Infante, no chance. Base hit starts the inning off. And I'll tell you, we talked about what it's like to be Scherzer. I don't know what that is like, to be honest with you. Starting like he has all year long and coming into a game like this, you never expect to be coming into a game like this. Even when he was thinking he was starting on last Friday, he had thinking, no way I'm coming into a game in relief.
Expecting bunt is crashing from the corners come the Tigers. As Sogard takes the strike. He didn't think so. Gets the bad news from Jim Reynolds.
He's got to get it down. He has got to get this bunt down.
Well, Bob Melvin knows the bottom part of the order. They have to put the bunts down. He wants to set up the top of the order, especially Coco Crisp, who's on deck. Melvin calls Crisp his best clutch hitter.
Sogard gets the bunt down. It is sharply hit. Fielder will throw to first for the out. Sacrifice complete. Stephen Vogt up to second base and into scoring position with one down.
Well, that was almost trouble. He bunted it so hard past the pitcher, and you see, luckily Infante did his job and got to first base, but the job is done. The sacrifice was laid down. You see a hard bunt, and Prince makes the play, but it could have been a disaster there if he throws that ball away, and nobody expects him to bunt this ball that hard. And Prince makes a nice play on this ball to get to it and make a decent throw to first.
Prince has made 2 good plays defensively, starting the double play back in the third. But if that ball gets by Prince, there's nobody at second base because the second baseman, Infante, had already gone to cover the bag.
Now Coco Crisp with a runner at second, 1 out in the inning. He'll take ball 1 in tight. Crisp is 2 for 3. A triple in the first, a single in the fifth, and all of that was against the Tiger starter, Doug Fister.
This is the part of the order that Bob Melvin needs to come through, and they have done it tonight. 5 for 9 with a homer, a triple, and 3 ribbies.
That's a strike, and it evens at 1-1.
You just never know what you're going to get from somebody coming out of the bullpen like that. You know you're going to have some gas, but you don't know if your secondary pitchers are going to be there right away because you've always had time to find it. If you come in with the adrenaline like that you're just not used to, game on the line.
Down and in for ball 2.
Boy, Crisp has had a good series. Not because he's gotten a lot of hits, but because he's seen a lot of pitches and he knows what he wants to hit. He hasn't chased many balls out of the zone at all.
On the ground down the first baseline, foul, and it evens at 2-2.
See him throwing a high 2-1 changeup. Not one of his better changeups, but good enough.
Stephen Vogt at second base, 1 out, and a 2-2 to Coco Crisp. On the ground, foul again.
on that pitch at 97. He got the head out and pulled it foul. Boy, he's in a good spot right now. He just missed a 3-run home run earlier in the game.
Yes, he did.
Crisp is 4 for 15 against Scherzer.
Time call as Reynolds jumps out in behind the catcher and lets Scherzer know.
I mean, you just throw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball down and in, and he turns on it.
Puts a little doubt in your mind, doesn't it?
Yes. It's like, I'm thinking I might have to throw him a changeup here.
Where am I going now? Scherzer threw 35 changeups in game 1, a season high.
Chris grounds it back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Vogt being waved around. No throw, he will score, and the Oakland A's take a 4-3 lead. Coco Crisp with his 3rd hit of the game gives the Athletics back the lead again.
That's when hitting was hitting. What an at-bat by him. Now, talk about just spinning on that 97 down and in, and he does get a changeup, and he doesn't try to pull it. He hits it right back up the middle past Scherzer's glove. What a nice piece of hitting. Coco Crisp is the hottest hitter on the field. I mean, that is a huge run for the A's, and Coco knows it. Great at bat.
Well, he's had good at bats all throughout the series and delivered big hits. Another big hit for Coco Crisp.
Last 2 days, 6 for 8 is Coco Crisp, as this one fouled straight back by Josh Donaldson. Well, a hush has come over the crowd here at Comerica Park after this Tigers team erased a 3-0 deficit to tie it up. Max Scherzer gives back a run here to the A's, who jump on top. They're now looking for more. Donaldson 1 for 3 in the game. Soft toss to first, and Crisp back to the bag.
Those numbers aren't that unusual. 1 for 11. There are a lot of hitters around the league that are putting up numbers like that against Scherzer.
Puts him down on his hip pockets.
I gotta believe Crisp has got to run now.
Oh, definitely.
He's got to run. He hasn't run much in this series. He had 1 stolen base, but this is perfect time to run. He got Scherzer into the game in an unusual situation, pitching in relief. He misses badly with the changeup, and I just got to believe he's going to come with another changeup, a tough pitch, because Avila's going to have to wait on it before he can make the throw to second. Not going.
And a swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
See the slider. He comes back with a slider to Donaldson. I agree. He's got to go at some point. He's got no lead. It's not a big lead at all. It's nothing lead.
In the dirt, and it evens at 2 and 2.
You see Scherzer holding it, and that makes it so tough on the runner.
Well, sometimes the threat of a steal is as valuable as the steal. We saw that in yesterday's game with Seth Smith at the plate. Anibal Sanchez worried more about Cespedes at first, made several throws to first, and then Smith hit the decisive 2-run homer.
Throw over, and again, Crisp able to get back easily.
Looks like he's running now.
Oh, yeah.
He got a little bit different stance over at first base. He's a little more open with that front foot. He looks anxious to run now.
Scherzer's going to hold it again.
Meanwhile, Donaldson patiently awaits a pitch here, waiting on a 2-2. And it's grounded towards third, picked on the backhand to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. They get the lead runner, Crisp, who is not running. And there are 2 outs now in the inning. But to get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and expert opinions from the biggest names in sports, check out Behind the Mic, powered by Ford on BleacherReport.com/BehindTheMic. Well, Donaldson reaching at first base on the fielder's choice with 2 down in the 7th inning. Coco Crisp has put the A's on top. His RBI single here in the top of the 7th inning. They have a runner at first for Jed Lowry, who had driven in the first 3 Oakland Athletics runs in this game. RBI single in the first, 2-run home run to right in the 5th. Now a pop-up and foul ground as Avila discards the mask, comes back and puts it away to end the inning. So the Athletics get the go-ahead run. American League Division coverage on TBS presented by T-Mobile. Four to 3, the Oakland A's push across the go-ahead run in the top half of the 7th inning. And the Oakland A's to their bullpen for the first time as Sean Doolittle comes into this game for the Athletics.
Doolittle making his 3rd appearance, and he's a power pitcher. 2 2/3 in the series with 4 strikeouts. And Bob Melvin's going to his hard-throwing left-hander quickly here.
Well, they've been leaning on him all year, and you just said 2 out of 3 games he's been in here, and he's thrown a lot of pitches. But 90% fastballs, that's what you're going to see. A little high hump from him, 95 and up.
Well, his A's pen has been terrific in the postseason. 8 innings pitched for Bob Melvin, no runs, 2 hits in this series. Tough to get much better than that. Victor Martinez, Jhonny Peralta, and Alex Avila, the anticipated trio here in the last of the 7th for Detroit, as the Tigers now trail by a run. Strike 1. Martinez struck out in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 5th.
Yeah, they turned him around to have him hit as a right-hander, 279 average with 5 home runs as a right-handed hitter. He's pretty accomplished from both sides of the plate. He had 314 batting as a lefty this season.
There's a fly ball, struck well to right field. Reddick moves back to the track, leaps at the wall, and that ball is gone. It's a home run to tie the game for Victor Martinez. 14 during the regular season. This home run ties game 4 of the ALDS.
out there complaining. They were saying that, I don't know what they were saying, it was a fan interference, but Reddick got back to the fence and leaped for this ball, and
Gary Darling is the crew chief and the man that made the call down the right field line. The umpire's going to get together at the request of Bob Melvin, who came out. But he had the best look of all, and he made the call, home run.
Yeah, he never hesitated, but Reddick and Chris both were very animated when that ball was called a home run. This is a very tough ballpark for umpires. The fans lean out over the plate. There's an iron fence above the padding in right. And it's very difficult for the umpires, and because of that, they're going to go check out the replay.
You have to check this out. Reddick had this play timed. I thought he was going to make a spectacular catch, but a fastball away. Victor drove this ball. Looked like it was going to. You see the timing of this.
Does the fan reach over is the question.
Boy, that's going to be interesting because the fan clearly leaned out over. Now watch Reddick as he goes up, and the fan is over the wall. Reddick's got it played perfectly. And then the question is whether or not the trajectory of that ball would have taken it beyond his glove. That's going to be a tough one.
That's a tough call.
That's as
right
tough
there.
as it gets.
This would have been a spectacular catch. I don't know if the fan really, I mean, he touched it, but would he have really caught it? We'll never know.
Now, there's no question that the fan caught it. There you see the fan's hand. Looked like the ball was just over the top of the glove, but it's very difficult, and this is going to be a tough call for the umpires.
Because
of course,
it's
that brings
definitely
back
over the fence.
the Jeffrey Mayer play in New York, Yankee Stadium. Richie Garcia was the umpire down there in that playoff series.
You are right, though. It's very difficult here in Detroit because they do reach over. And it is so close to where that fence is and where that yellow line is as well.
My guess is they're going to call this a home run because I think it was definitely over the fence.
And you have to have definitive proof that the ruling on the field gets reversed. And you just can't tell from that angle how far over the wall he is leaning. And this is a real problem because these ballparks have been fan friendly and they're close to the field. Years ago, home runs would disappear over the fence.
Right.
There were no seats out there. But now the ballparks have become so fan friendly that the fans actually lean over the playing surface. This is where you need that camera right down the fence.
That's one of the tougher calls I've seen. This is a tough one. I think they're going to call this a home run, but obviously it's just.
Well, you saw Coco Crisp. He was adamant about it. Once they called the home run, he was making sure his manager, Bob Melvin, came out and protested the call.
And these are the rules in play right now as they take a look. And here come the umpires right now. Gary Darling, the crew chief, has indicated it's a home run, and this game is tied. Very difficult to tell. And Bob Melvin's going to come out and argue some more now. He wants to know what they saw on the replay. And a quick conversation there. Back to the dugout he goes. This was the play.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be beyond his glove from that angle. And once they make a call on the field, you have to have definitive proof to reverse the call.
And they did.
So now, here is Jhonny Peralta. It was his 3-run home run that tied the game at 3 in the 5th inning.
It took the Tigers into the 4th game before they hit home runs, but now they're playing their game a little more effectively.
On the ground, down the line at third, it's a fair ball. On a bang into the corner, Cespedes races over. Peralta's headed for second. He'll get there standing with a double.
Well, there's no question in this ballpark whether or not the fans wanted Jhonny Peralta to play.
Pretty incredible what he's done since he's come back. The 3-run home run last time up. He got something off speed that you don't see very often there from Doolittle, and he laces it down the left field line out of the reach of Donaldson. You see, he almost gets to this ball, and once he doesn't, this is a double. We're going to pinch run for Peralta, but what a comeback for this guy.
He's done exactly what Jim Leland wanted. He's gotten 2 big hits in the series, and now Dirks takes over as a pinch runner at second. So Peralta playing exactly the way Jim Leland hoped he would.
And Dirks will likely take over in left field for Peralta as well. With nobody out, go-ahead run in scoring position. Here's Avila, who is squaring. And he pops it up on the bunt bid. Not a good bid at all as he fouls it off. Avila 0 for 2 in this game. Is grounded out to short, struck out.
Avila had 1 sacrifice bunt all season long. And now in the most important game of their season, he just jabbed at that last ball.
This is going to be difficult for him to put this thing down.
See if he is trying again. He is, and gets this one fouled off.
Yeah, it's difficult because he's facing a hard throwing left-hander and he hasn't really turned around and squared. Get yourself in the front of the box so the bat is in fair territory, and then you hold the barrel upright, 45-degree angle, and hope to get the ball on the ground.
Well, you know the technique. It's just another thing doing it when you got a guy bringing it from the left-hand side.
Hill is swinging away now, and he fouls it off.
Now the next best thing is to make sure you pull the ball to the right side. Avila this year against lefty pitching hit 139.
Closer for the Tigers, Joaquin Benoit, loosening up in the Tigers' pen.
You want him to bunt it, now you want him to pull it. Not an easy thing.
The 0-2, and Avila strikes out. And after the high heat at 96 miles an hour, out number 1.
That was absolutely no chance. Feeble attempt at trying to get a sacrifice bunt a couple of times, and you try to take a shot at pulling something, and the ball's in the glove.
Tough left-hander. Doolittle throws hard.
Avila most definitely frustrated with his inability to get that bunt down first, and then to move the runner along as he's out number 1 of this 7th inning. Here's Omar Infante. A little spiraling off the backside of the hill, no throw.
I think Infante was just trying to shoot this ball to right field. That's all he's trying to do.
Reddick's got a very good arm in right, as we saw earlier in this series. Back to the gas again.
Infante's a terrific clutch hitter. This season, with runners in scoring position in less than 2 outs, he's at 446. He doesn't try to do too much, and you're right. He's thinking about the big side of the field.
Infante lines it to center, but right at Crisp, who makes the catch and fires back in. Little lunge there for Crisp. Hit right at him in center field, and he had to leap a little bit, but he reels it in on a sharply hit ball, but it's out number 2.
That ball was stung to Coco.
Yeah, Infante can hit a fastball, and he got right on top of that fastball, but hit it right at the center fielder.
Two down with Dirks pinch running at second base, and it's Jose Iglesias, the number 9 man, who they asked to come up with a big hit here in the 7th inning. Looks at ball 1. Iglesias is grounded out to first and fouled out to the third baseman. And ahead 2-0.
The corner outfielders for Oakland throw very well. Coco Chris doesn't have an arm at all. but both Cespedes in left and Reddick in right. And we've already seen Reddick gun down a runner at the plate. He threw out Victor Martinez at home in this series.
3-0.
If he loses Iglesias, you got a hitter on deck with Jackson that is desperate to make contact at this point.
Iglesias takes strike one. Yeah, you got Austin Jackson, who is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. The on-deck hitter for the Tigers.
10 strikeouts in the series so far. Boy, wouldn't you think he would love to have an opportunity to redeem himself?
And he's going to get that very chance. A walk to the number 9 man, Jose Iglesias, provides Austin Jackson with that chance. So here we go. As you said, 10 strikeouts in the series for Jackson. 3 of them coming in this game 4. And here he is with a chance to make a big difference in this game for the Tigers.
There's no secret. Here comes gas.
Jackson with a swing and a miss. That gas is by him.
You just got to make sure you get one in the strike zone, and that was a pretty good pitch to hit. Doolittle's fastball is legit.
Jackson fouls it off the catcher Vogt, who's been hit a few times in this game, as Doolittle jumps ahead 0-2. And if you're Jackson, you got to have that feeling like, here we go again.
You better get rid of that feeling in a hurry.
I wouldn't throw him to strike with a fastball. I'd throw it as high as I could. Just bring it upstairs, out of this zone.
Jackson fouls it off to the right, stays alive.
You've done this before, huh?
Well, not with his gas, I haven't, but if I had his gas, that's what I would do.
Upstairs, and obviously he's trying to protect the plate. That one looks like you can get to it, but you can't. All he can do is foul it out of play.
Dirks at second base. Jose Iglesias at first, 2 outs in this Tigers' 7th inning. They've already tied the game. Jackson to right field. Reddick coming in. It drops in front of him. Around from second comes Dirks to put the Tigers on top 5-4. Austin Jackson, who had struck out 3 times, gets a broken bat single to right, and Detroit takes the lead.
Get it any way, you take it any way you can. He gets a broken bat. The ball gets on his label. He's left there with half a bat, and you see Reddick is a step short of getting this ball. A little flare into right field. Reddick can't get there. Run scores easy. Iglesias goes to third.
Doolittle is done for the night. Third pitcher for the Oakland A's coming up here with the Tigers now on top.
Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Sean Doolittle allows the first runs given up by the Oakland bullpen of this ALDS. 2 of them to this point. He departs with runners at first and third as Dan Otero appears here for the Oakland A's with 2 outs and 2 on. It's Iglesias at third, Jackson at first, and Torrey Hunter the batter. He takes strike 1. Hunter 0 for 3 in this contest. 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
Otero's done a nice job for the A's all year long. You see that nasty sinker that he features. He was in the game yesterday once again.
Sinker balls are generally better the more they pitch.
Hunter trying to drop the bunt down and fouls it off.
So back-to-back days, not a concern. It might even be a benefit for Otero. Boy, we have seen it throughout this series. Vogt gets a big hit. Moss finally snaps out of a slump with a home run. And now Austin Jackson, who was mired in the worst slump of all with 10 strikeouts, gets the biggest hit so far for Detroit.
Very high for ball 1. Torrey Hunter does not have a hit in this game and is 2 for 13 in this ALDS.
Funny game, you know, Infante hit a line drive to Coco for an out in this inning, and then you see the flare off of a broken bat by Jackson. Go figure.
High again, 2-2.
Alex Avila is going to give Austin Jackson a big hug next time he sees him for sure. Avila couldn't get the bunt down and just struck out. These games are all about your teammates picking up one another, and Jackson picked up Avila for sure.
Runner goes at first as Hunter swings and misses and strikes out to end the 7th inning. But the damage done. How much fun is this? The Tigers have pulled ahead 5-4. The home run. Be the first to know the latest news on all your teams with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. Stay one step ahead. Check out Team Stream on your phone's app store today. Well, we play along here to the 8th inning back at Comerica Park in Detroit. as Max Scherzer, who came out of the pen to pitch the 7th inning, gave up a run. His team has gotten it back and then another to take the lead. Andy Dirks, who pinch ran as part of that 2-run 7th inning, stays in the game and takes over in left field. Scherzer returns to the hill here for the 8th. And we'll have to deal with 4, 5, and 6 for the A's.
Verlander would love to get one more start.
Wouldn't he?
And it would likely be against that guy, Bartolo Colon, if there is a game 5. Brandon Moss to lead it off here in the 8th.
It's a little interesting that Cabrera is still in the defense. It's a 1-run game in the 8th, but he leads off the bottom of the 8th inning. So that's why he's still in the game. Give him a chance to get one more at bat.
And that was the battle that really Jim Leyland had with himself earlier in the series when he thought about taking Cabrera out. It was the 1-run factor. And could you play into extra innings, and do you want to lose that bat for the remainder of this contest? And it's here we go again. It's outside to Moss, and Scherzer has fallen behind 3-0.
This is not an easy thing for Scherzer. You know, last inning he gave up a run, and then wait a long time, and then to come back out and kind of disoriented doing with this job to begin with.
There's a strike, 3-1. Again, Scherzer's not been out of the bullpen since 2011.
Can't get cute here, just gas away.
And it's ball 4. Moss will head down to first base, lead runner on for the A's in the 8th. So back to work they go. It's only the 2nd walk given up by Tigers pitching in this game. And it brings up Jhonny Cespedes, 0 for 3 in this game, grounding out 3 times, but all of that was against the ground ball pitcher Doug Fister.
Cespedes has recorded hits in his previous 8 postseason games. So far, he's drawn the collar tonight.
And he takes ball 1.
Of course, in game 1, Cespedes facing Scherzer was the only one that really squared him up. He had a triple in the 2nd and a 2-run home run in the 7th off of Scherzer.
Smoked the triple and absolutely crushed the home run.
Swing and a foul tip. Evens it count at 1-1.
This fastball's got some run on it.
It's easier for Scherzer to call upon his secondary pitch because it's a changeup than it would be for a guy who leans heavily on a breaking ball when he's coming out of the pen in relief.
Cespedes to right field. Hunter on the run is not going to get there. Drops the ball in right field. Heading for third is Moss. Cespedes into second with a double, and it's second and third with nobody out for the A's. Hunter tried to deke the runner there a little bit, throwing the glove out. Knocked it down. It got behind him, and it's now second and third with nobody out for the A's.
How about this? This is shocking to me. You saw Hunter playing in right center field. Doesn't hit this ball all that hard. That's a changeup that he sort of flicks, doesn't get all of it. Hunter doesn't even come close to this. He's trying to deke the runner. He gets there and he boxes it. And that sends Cespedes to second base. Second and third, nobody out.
So the Tigers will bring the infield in all the way around with Seth Smith coming up.
And they're going to put Smith on. They've got the left-handers all in a row, Smith, Reddick, and Vogt, and then Sogard. They've got Smiley ready, the lefty down in the pen. So Scherzer was going to walk Smith below the bases. Smiley up for a second time. He's ready to go.
What a crazy game back and forth.
Well, Cespedes extends his postseason hit streak to 9 games with that little flare double into right.
And you saw Hunter playing really way over right center field.
Well, the two balls that Cespedes hit off Scherzer in Oakland were smoked to left.
But he hit a ball off Verlander, remember, on the screws into right center field that Hunter made a nice catch on. So he's used the whole field, Cespedes. You'd think he would have pulled that changeup, though.
Well, the walk is complete, and down to first base goes Smith, and here comes Jeff Jones, not Jim Leland.
Yeah, this is interesting, and again, you look at the bench. They've got a potent pinch hitter in Derek Norris. He has 3 pinch hit home runs this year. So this looks like it's going to be, okay, Max, let's have a good attack against Reddick here. And I don't know that Bellman would have pinch hit for Reddick, but it appears as though they're concerned about Norris on the bench with that potent right-handed bat coming off as a pinch hitter.
They have been, because he hasn't even gotten a bat yet, has he, Norris, off the bench? Yeah, they'd rather have Scherzer face Reddick than Smiley face Norris.
Now the infield in the middle will back up here to double play depth.
Leland talking to the infielders about the speed of the base runners. Moss not a good runner at third, so if they are hitting a slow rolling ball, they can come to the plate and maybe cut down that run.
Reddick takes strike one. Scherzer would love to have something here that doesn't include contact in the way of a strikeout. Bases filled with A's. The 0-1 to Josh Reddick. Outside.
Tough one to lay off,
isn't it? I thought he dotted him right there. The ball is outside, but good pitch by Scherzer.
Reddick just a 129 career batting average with the bases loaded. It's away, and it's ball 2.
Mr. Adley with that changeup. But now Reddick's probably narrowing his focus to a fastball.
Fastball away. It's got to be.
And it's outside for ball 3. Nowhere to put Josh Reddick after they intentionally walked Seth Smith, and now Scherzer's behind in the count 3-1.
And then if he walks in the run, he's really going to be looking at Derek Norris if he makes the move to Smiley.
Reddick fouls it off, and it's a full count now. Moss at third, Cespedes at second, Smith at first, nobody out for the A's here in the 8th.
Little changeup he gave.
And a pop-up foul backing out of play.
Wasn't a changeup, but he wiggled 4 fingers and he threw him gas.
And he beat him with the fastball.
He did. You got to throw gas.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw that change, I said, what?
Yeah, you got to go after him with fastball.
Again, the payoff pitch to Reddick. Swing and a miss, and a huge strikeout for Scherzer.
Again,
he got us.
The changeup, 85 miles an hour. Remember, in game 1, he threw a season-high 35 changeups.
How about this, though? He had a little tail on his fastball. He couldn't find his fastball in the zone. You talk about 3 balls with his fastball. Then he throws it right down the middle, foul ball. Another foul ball that beat him, and that changeup down and in just disappeared, and Reddick couldn't lay off.
Now, Stephen Vogt, who had the walk-off base hit for the Oakland A's in Game 2, has a chance here to do some damage in Game 4. 1 out, bases loaded. And Vogt fouls the first pitch back. Fastball from Scherzer. Vogt singled in the 7th inning and scored the 4th Oakland A's run.
A's just looking for contact at this point. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Vogt fouls it off again. 0-2.
Boy, how about Scherzer? He's getting better with every pitch, more confident that he can locate his pitches. That's what was really his strength in his start in game 1. The location of the fastball and the changeup.
This is tough right here. I tell you what, he's got it going on all of a sudden. That changeup by swinging Mr. Reddick was such a huge pitch.
The 0-2 pitch to Stephen Vogt. And Vogt strikes out. No, he got a piece. Got a piece. Just a piece.
The changeup is back in his mind now.
That changeup is devastating. You know, you're trying to just make contact. He's seen 95, and then it disappears.
Well, Avila is so close from picking that before it hit the ground.
How do you catch up with the fastball when you got anything on your mind about a changeup? No chance.
Now Vogt strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Scherzer. 2 down.
I tell you, a changeup, he foul tipped, and the fastball that is in the glove. This ball is brought down and in. He can't get there. I don't blame him. Tough at bat. That's when pitching was pitching. This is the Cy Young on the mound. Bases loaded, nobody out, 2 punch-outs.
Looks like a pinch hitter coming up. Callaspo will pinch hit here for Sogard out of the number 9 spot. Sogard had walked, grounded out, and had a sacrifice bunt in this game, but it'll be Alberto Callaspo who pinch hits with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the Oakland 8th inning.
Scherzer's been able to rack up the strikeouts all season long, and now he's going to deal with Callaspo, the pinch hitter. Callaspo just 3 for 15 against Scherzer.
Bob Melvin talking for the game. It's been trouble for him to get at bats for Callaspo, but here's a big one in the 8th inning. A game in which the Athletics trailed by a run, with the bases loaded with nobody out. They're still loaded with 2 down. Callaspo lines it down the left field line. Foul. Just foul.
Bob Melvin thought about starting Callaspo tonight, but said, I hate to lose the versatility he gives me off the bench.
How this ball down the line, if it hits chalk, it's way foul, but it gives you a heart attack.
Both of these managers have done a terrific job utilizing their players. Jim Leyland not going to Drew Smiley to keep Norris on the bench.
Bases filled with Oakland A's. 2 down here in the 8th. The 0-1 pitch. Callaspo jumps back out of the way of a pitch down and in. And Avila lunges to his right.
That was almost identical to the pitch he threw Reddick. He sort of yanked it over there.
Jim Leyland told us he didn't want to use Benoit before the 9th. He said closers don't necessarily react to 4-out saves.
Callaspo fouls it off down the left field line, and it's 1-2.
What a defensive 1-1 swing.
Scherzer's been getting those swings all year long.
Scherzer in behind the mound right now, in the midst of a meeting with himself, as he climbs back up on top again.
thought, inkling of a changeup in the back of your mind. That is major hair he's thrown. Right by you. That's why you see that 1-1 protected swing with a fastball.
The 1-2 pitch. Away. 97 and off the plate, 2-2.
Callaspo's still not sure what to look for. He threw a 3-2 changeup to Reddick. So you just got to protect the plate, short and quick. Try to put the bat on the ball. And that'll make you way late on that 97-mile-an-hour heater.
Vila with a brief word with Scherzer on the mound. Now back to work to go.
Because that changeup's a ball. It's a ball. But how do you lay off with 2 strikes?
Down and in, full count.
What's he going to throw here? What is he going to throw here?
Well, he can throw another changeup because he has just missed with the changeup. He's got a good feel for what he did. He yanked it badly.
I'm throwing gas here down to just air it out.
You were wrong on Reddick.
I know, but I'm going gas here.
Everybody be on the move with a full count of 2 outs. The payoff pitch. Callaspo lines it to center. Jackson's on the run. He'll get there. Scherzer's out of the jam. Max Scherzer, the bases loaded, nobody out, gets out of it. There's pitching, and then there's that.
You talk about, you are feeling it, man. This guy won 21 games. It doesn't matter. He is feeling it right now.
Jim Leyland with the intentional walk, knowing full well that Scherzer could get himself out of that bases loaded jam, and boy, did he ever.
Well, now the Oakland A's will turn to their 4th arm as Ryan Cook checks into this game. And Alberto Callaspo, the pinch hit, stays in the game at second base. We wondered where Scherzer would fit in game 4, whether he would start this game. He doesn't start it, but he plays a huge role in this game 4, as it turns out.
So you want to be a reliever, right? Come on.
Miguel Cabrera leads it off for the Tigers here in the last of the 8th inning. And takes it high. This is the teeth of the Tigers order. Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, and Victor Martinez. Looking to obtain some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. The MVP chant goes up here at Comerica Park. 2-0.
Cook has had some control problems recently, and you see the 2 fastballs not even close. He loves to use that fastball.
Up and in, and it's 3-0.
Gets underneath that fastball a little bit, and it just takes off.
Wonder about the legs of Cabrera, but do you consider giving him the green light in this situation?
Oh, yeah, you let him hit. Man, he's in there to hit.
And he's swinging 3-0 as he grounds it to third. Donaldson will pick and throw. First out of the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, you got him into the game because you want him to hit, so you're not going to put the stop line on him with the 3-0 count. Let him hit. Maybe he gets a single. Then you pinch run for him. I think he's out of the game now. Santiago will probably come in and play third base in the 9th.
Oh, yeah, he's done.
So 1 down, and Prince Fielder coming up. Fielder has been aboard twice in this game, hit by a pitch in the 2nd. He singled to left in the 5th, struck out in the 6th inning. Away again. And it's 2-0. Cook got behind Miguel Cabrera 3-0 before he got him to ground out. Now behind Fielder 2-0. The high strike call.
That's kind of a gift right there. Thank you.
Top of the zone.
See him get underneath these fastballs, and they just sort of hop out of the. That ball is on the edge. It was a strike, but kind of a gift. He didn't have to.
Fielder fouls it off. 2-2.
9 days since he's pitched the last day of the regular season, so he's got some rust. And what'll happen when you haven't pitched is your timing will be off. He's rushing. That's why he's underneath that ball, and it's up and away to Fielder.
71 games during the regular season, 2nd straight year that he's appeared in 71 games, led the A's in that category. Last year was the A's lone all-star representative in 2012. And he strikes out Prince Fielder. Fielder knows it, takes with him the first K for Ryan Cook, 2 down in the 8th. He battled back.
That was center cut that Prince took right there for strike 3. You don't see that very often from Prince.
Now here comes Victor Martinez, who tied this game in the 7th inning with a home run that at the time tied the game 4-4. And it took a review by this umpiring crew to make sure that it was a home run to right field to tie the game. Same inning in which the Tigers would take the lead. Now Martinez rifles one into right field for a base hit. His 3rd hit of the game. This one comes with 2 down in the 8th.
Well, he's all over this fastball. V-Mart having a good night. Couple hits from the left-hand side, and we know about the home run from the right-hand side, but he's starting to get hot. And somebody had to get hot. You know, we talked about before the game that somebody had to show up offensively, and once again Peralta did. V-Mart's hot.
Too good of hitters to stay down that long, and 3 hits tonight for Martinez. He had a double in yesterday's game.
Andy Dirks with his first plate appearance as he had pinch run in the 7th inning as he takes strike 1. Pinch ran for Jhonny Peralta. Up with some big hits the last couple of days as Jhonny Peralta, including the 3-run home run back in the 5th inning. The Tigers down 3-0 at the time.
Well, you talk about Jim Leyland playing his cards right. He got Peralta into game 3. He got the big 2-run single. And then tonight he said, I need defense at short, so I'm going to keep Peralta in left. And he comes through again for him.
Swinging a foul tip as Dirk's down 1-2.
You talk about drama in this game, huh? Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-2 pitch to Reddick. Change up down and in, punches him out.
And they can save Benoit for the 9th.
Right.
They didn't have to go to him in the 8th.
Dirks will foul it off, and it hangs at 1-2.
He asked you, Jim Leland asked you about that, how you shut down the emotions. You were a 1-inning guy later on, and he was concerned about having to go to Benoit in the 8th. He said, I don't want to do that, so he stuck with Scherzer, and Scherzer got him out of that tough jam.
Well, he got 4 outs in game 1. Punched out the side in the 9th, got 1 out in the 8th.
Two and 2. Herrera grounded out. Fielder struck out. A 2-out base hit by Victor Martinez. Andy Dirks has a count of 2-2. And that's ball 3. Victor Martinez can get a start at first base now, 2 down, and a full count to Dirks. Dirks fouls it back to the screen and will do it again. Looking ahead to the Oakland A's 9th inning. And again, it'll be Joaquin Benoit, Coco Crisp, Josh Donaldson, and Jed Lowry. It's the top of the Oakland A's order. Payoff pitch again. And Dirks fouls it off again.
Boy, we have seen a lot of gas the last couple of innings, huh? Starting with Doolittle, even though he got knocked around. Scherzer bringing it.
Jhonny Peralta got his big hit on a fastball. Scherzer was able to get the changeup in the mix, and that made his fastball that much better.
Up high, ball 4, and he walks Dirks. So the Tigers have 2 on, both getting on with 2 outs in the inning. And a pinch runner coming in here for the Tigers. Hernan Perez will pinch run as Ryan Cook will depart this game with runners at first and second. The pitching change comes to you from Comerica Park with the Tigers on top 5-4 right now. Tigers have the lead over the A's with 2 outs here in the 8th. Coming up next after our game, it'll be Game 4 of the Red Sox at Rays ALDS, coming to you from Tropicana Field in St. Pete. The Red Sox lead the series 2-1. Jake Peavy matched up against Jeremy Hellickson, followed by the Johnny Walker postseason show. But Brett Anderson checks into this game. Pitched out of the bullpen for the first time in his big league career this season. At one point, it picked up 3 saves. They all were of the 3-inning variety. Had a 4.71 earned run average out of the pen. It's actually better than his 7.23 ERA in 5 starts this season. Was in relief after missing almost 4 months on the DL, as he misses with ball 1 to Alex Avila. New pinch runner at second base, Hernan Perez runs for Victor Martinez. Alex Avila 0 for 3 as he bats with 2 on and 2 down. And is ahead 2-0. So Omar and Fonte waiting in the on-deck circle, hoping to get a chance here with 2 outs in the 8th. Three and 0.
Hard for Anderson to get his bearings. You know, he hadn't been out there in a while. Adrenaline's pumping.
Mentioned the DL. He'd been on the DL with a sprained right ankle. Experienced more pain on rehab and sidelined until late August. The stress fracture in his right foot, as it turned out. There's a strike, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, tough to come in for your first appearance in a series in a difficult situation, trying to hold it to a 1-run deficit.
Ball 4, and the bases are filled with Tigers. All of this has come with 2 outs in the inning for Detroit. A single, back-to-back walks, and Kurt Young, the pitching coach, on his way to the mound for Oakland.
And we talked about a hot bat. Victor Martinez is the one that got that 2-out single to really get things going. And then Dirks had a good at bat to work Cook for the walk. And now the walk issued to Avila to load the bases. And you got the tough Omar Infante. I tell you what, this guy puts the bat on the ball all the time.
And tonight, 0 for 3 in the game. He was flied out to right twice. Last time up, lined out to center field. Take strike 1.
You see Anderson going into the windup, kind of an abbreviated windup.
Perez at third. Dirks at second. Avila at first, as this bounces away from Vogt. From third comes Dirks, and it's a 2-run lead for the Tigers. An enormous insurance run here for Detroit as the ball got away.
It's the first breaking ball that Anderson threw it since coming out there, and he kind of was quick on it. Shoved it right into the ground. And Vogt's going to have a hard time with this ball down and in. He probably should have blocked it, but it kicked away.
So a wild pitch, and a count of 1-1 to Omar Infante. Now Infante down the line to the left. Here comes Dirks. Now Avila around. It's a 2-run double. The Tigers open it up on top 8-4.
How about this? You said he can hit the fastball, and he got it. And he yanks this ball down the line easily past Donaldson, and these 2 runs are going to score easy. And this goes from a nail biter to opening this game up for Detroit.
Infante's been a great clutch hitter. And that certainly eases things for Benoit. But Victor Martinez got it started with 2 outs. Got the base hit to right. And then Infante cashes in 2 with a double.
Now Jose Iglesias. Taps it foul at the dish. He is down 0-2. What a game this has been.
Bases loaded, nobody out, to not being able to score and then giving up 3 runs.
Fly ball foul down the right field line, and walks have been a problem for the Athletics in the 8th. 2 walks, and they both end up scoring in this inning. Doolittle, who is now on the hook, was ineffective in his 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs. The 0-2. And Iglesias down on strikes to end the inning. Tigers are 3 outs away from forcing a game 5. American League Division coverage on TBS, presented by T-Mobile. All right, Keith, thanks very much as we return here to Comerica Park, where Joaquin Benoit comes into the game in what turns out now not to be a safe situation.
Yeah, but you certainly don't want to encourage him. You had him up. He's been up since the 8th inning, and go ahead and use him and try to punctuate this win. Santiago comes in defensively, taking over for Cabrera at third base.
I'm Benoit, and I see that 2-run double go down the left field line. I am breathing easy.
Coco Crisp leads it off here in the 9th inning for the A's. And grounds one under the glove. A fielder into right field, a base hit. And that is the 4th hit of the night for Coco Crisp.
Once again, Coco, you don't know when he's going to swing. First pitch, fastball high, turns on it. That might have been a changeup, wasn't it? That wasn't very good gas, but once again, Coco is so hot. Too bad this is a 4-run game, or that would have been a huge hit.
Well, the top of this order has had a big night. They are now 7 for 13, the top 3 in the A's order. They're not ready to concede a thing.
Josh Donaldson with a swing and a miss for strike 1. Capacity crowd here at Comerica Park sold out, 43,968. Trying to root their Tigers on to a 5th game. Fouled off to the right, and Benoit's ahead 0-2.
The A's almost want to kick themselves. You know, a 3-0 game. Elimination game, that is huge, being up 3-0. The big home run by Peralta. Then they go back ahead 4-3. And then they lose that lead.
Now Straley threw a 2-2 fastball to Peralta. And he squared it up.
Tigers really waiting to game 4 to get their offense going, but it is clicking now. The 0-2 pitch. Able to hold off, and it's 1-2. Well, the Red Sox and Rays will be coming your way next on TBS. Their game 4 from Tropicana Field in St. Pete. Down low, and it's 2-2.
Obviously, Benoit's just trying to pick up outs now. He's not trying to be too fancy, but at the same time, how many times have we seen closers come into the game when the save is not an issue and get knocked around a bit?
Well, the fact is, when he was warming up, he was tight because it's a 1-run game and 2 outs and nobody on, and then all that happened. They end up scoring 3 runs. You never turn it off, but you breathe a little easier.
Swing and a miss, and Donaldson's down on strikes for the first out of the ninth.
Well, that's that great changeup, and it's such a great pitch for Benoit. He throws it with a split grip, and he can really make it dive down out of the strike zone.
It's about 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball, and you see, you get the bad swing by Donaldson. He can't get to it.
One down, crisp at first. They're playing in behind him on the bag at first base. Lowry takes the ball outside. He had a very good start to this game. Lowry drove in the game's first run back in the first inning with an RBI single. He followed it up with a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. And at the time, gave the Oakland A's a 3-0 advantage, and they appear to be well on their way to a victory here in game 4. Not so fast, say the Tigers.
Well, Lloyd McClendon was challenging his hitters to have some good at bats, and boy, in that 5th inning, Fielder got a single, Victor got a single to center, and then Jhonny Peralta on a 2-2 pitch hammered a 3-run home run. And McClendon says, boys, we need to grind out some at bats, and they did tonight.
Well, the flare by Prince Fielder started the thing down, the little dunker down the left field line.
It's away, and it's 2-1 now to Jed Lowry.
Yeah, you'd be a pitcher to remember that it was a dunker.
Yeah, I know. That's all I remember.
He knows all the specifics.
It wasn't a line drive.
I want everything to be a rocket if you're going to hit it.
Well, Justin Verlander has his eyes set on game 5.
That bloop and a blast stuff, what that is.
Two 1 to Lowry. That's outside. That's where Benoit stayed on Lowry primarily. It's 3-1. There's Brandon Moss waiting on deck here for the Athletics in the ninth.
Boy, that 2-run double is just huge right now. Huge.
Infante's got big hits for them all season long.
Outside again. The A's need base runners, and they're getting them. Down to first base goes Lowry. 2 on and 1 away now, as that's the last thing Jim Leland wants to see from Benoit is to start walking people. Why it's this capacity crowd. Miguel Cabrera now out of the game. Only can be a spectator at this point. On Santiago taking over defensively at third base.
This is the 6th game the A's have played this season in this ballpark, and they've hit 11 home runs. And they love hitting here. Came into this game with a .346 average hitting in this ballpark, and they're not ready to quite give up on this game yet. And Moss certainly can put a charge into it.
Moss looking for his first hit of tonight's game as he takes strike one.
Moss has never had a hit against Benoit. He's 0 for 7.
It'll be accomplishment if they could get the tying run at the plate.
And that would be a big time hitter if it's Cespedes. He's on deck.
Yanks it down in the dirt, and Avila to his right, able to block that. Moss perfectly capable himself of going yard.
It's a pretty quiet place for a home team with a 4-run lead, isn't it?
Everybody's standing up and not saying anything.
They're up by 4.
There they go.
One to Moss. Foul back, and it's 1-2. Benoit back with the fastball again. With 2 strikes on the bat of this capacity crowd, will get back up on their feet again.
This isn't about losing your edge because there's no save out there. This is the playoffs. Everything is at save.
So you're saying there's enough edge?
Oh, there's a huge. You kidding me?
The 1-2 pitch. Down and in again. Benoit gave up a single to Coco Crisp to begin the inning. Struck out Donaldson swinging. Allows a walk to Jed Lowry. 2 on 1 out for the A's here in the 9th. Moss climbs back in and gets himself ready for a 2-2 pitch. Moss hits it on the ground to first base. Fielder will tag the bag for the 2nd out of the 9th. The runners move along. Crisp to 3rd, Lowry to 2nd, with now 2 down as the A's are down to their last out with Cespedes coming up.
Yeah, no reason whatsoever to make a throw to second base. Just go to the bag, take the out.
Just catch the ball.
Yep. Fielder's had a good night in the field. He started a 3-6-1 double play in the 3rd.
Made a nice play on that bunt play that was bunted hard by Sogar.
That was in the 7th.
Cespedes 1 for 4 in the game. On the ground, foul outside of 3rd.
It's kind of nice facing the guy. If he goes bridge, you're still okay. I mean,
yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's why that out was so important. And Fielder went to the bag to retire Moss.
Again, after our ball game, it's the Red Sox and Rays from St. Pete. Game 4 of their American League Division Series right here on TBS. The 0-1 pitch to Cespedes. Line to center field, in for a base hit. From third base comes Coco Crisp. Behind him is Lowry, and it's now a 2-run game. Here come the Athletics, who scored twice with 2 outs here in the 9th.
They will not quit. They're going to get the tying run at the plate. Once again, Cespedes. Gets a fastball middle, and he doesn't try to crank it. He just hits this ball a bullet to center field.
Short and quick to the ball, wasn't trying to do too much, and he delivers the base hit, and all of a sudden, Seth Smith is at the plate representing the tying run.
Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, out there to talk to Benoit.
How do you find your way to getting the tying run at the plate?
Let's send it to Keith Olbermann in Atlanta. Keith. All right, Keith, back here at Comerica Park in Detroit. Tying run coming to the plate in Seth Smith, who already has a home run in this American League Division Series. And has a hit tonight, going 1 for 3. He's intentionally walked last time up. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
That's that changeup, and he really leans heavily on that changeup, and Smith was trying to ambush a fastball.
He was all geared up for a fastball.
They play him to pull in the outfield is Austin Jackson. Step or two towards right center. Very deep in right is Torrey Hunter. Runner goes as Smith will take a ball, and it's 1-1. Stealing second base is Cespedes. And we're holding him on, so defensive indifference.
Smith obviously has good power the opposite way. He hit the 2-run home run to left center against Sanchez in the 5th in yesterday's game.
I think he's trying to pull. He's trying to crank.
Smith had 8 homers during the regular season. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
That's a pretty good pitch to hit right there.
Yeah, he did, but he just saw 2 split fingers. He didn't have the timing of his cheese.
Oakland A's trailed by 4 runs coming into the 9th. They have 2 back. The tying run at the plate with 2 down here in the 9th. And a count of 1-2 to Seth Smith.
It's hard to go bridge in defensive mode, that's for sure. Can't be hanging any of those split fingers.
Smith fouls it back, stays alive.
Yeah, that's a good call. You make a mistake with a split change, and you're looking at a 2-run home run. So you stay firm, try to keep him in the big part. Yesterday, the wind was blowing out, and the ball was jumping. Little breeze into the hitter's face tonight. It's not flying as well.
No, you got to yank it to hit it out of here.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down in the 9th.
If he does throw that split finger, it's going to be in the dirt.
The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. And it's blocked by Avila.
It's either high cheese or split in the dirt. That's it.
Nothing down the middle.
No. Don't even think about a backdoor breaking ball. They go a long ways.
Now he's going to go fastball changeup, and you're right. Well, they're going to talk about it first. Avila going to the mound and saying, you know what, we don't have any room for a mistake here. This is where the old thing about conviction to a pitch is really important. Make up your mind, no matter what pitch it is, but buy into it. Throw it with conviction.
It's been a 23-pitch 9th inning so far for Joaquin Benoit. A stressful inning for the Detroit Tigers closer. And it ain't over yet. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again. The battle continues. It'll see his 7th pitch.
Now, this is where Smith's approach, knowing he's got power to the opposite field, really plays into his hand, because he doesn't have to really crank up with 2 strikes especially, which would make him especially vulnerable to that changeup.
He's got to hope that he hangs that changeup, and he's looking the other way and ends up cranking it.
Smith fouls off another. What a battle here between Joaquin Benoit and Seth Smith with 2 outs in the 9th.
Boatload of pitches for Benoit, 25.
Tomorrow's an off day.
Thank goodness.
We'll get plenty of rest.
Benoit backs off, wants to see the signs again.
Can't think that long. Let's go. Get it and go.
The 8th pitch of the at-bat. Smith strikes out, and the Tigers win with their backs to the wall. The Tigers have forced a 5th game. It wasn't easy for Joaquin Benoit in the 9th inning in the Oakland A's with a valiant effort to come from behind 4 runs down, but it was just too much of a mountain to climb.
Back and forth in this game. The A's are going to look back at this game leading 3-0, lost the lead. Peralta 3-run bomb, and they went ahead 4-3. Coco had a great night for them. Martinez tying home run. They had to review so many things in this game, and then they opened it up. Luckily got 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and the A's made a game out of it in the 9th.
You don't need many hits in a series like this, and Austin Jackson, after 10 strikeouts, gets a broken bat RBI flare. And this Tiger team says, you know what? We're not done yet.
8-6, the final coming up next. It's Game 4, Red Sox and Rays. Following a quick break, we'll send you to Brian Anderson in St. Pete.